got um chains like her horns are tipped with gold, and then chains that lead down to her two earrings. And then her wife is in a long white dress. Have I described her wife to you outside of the armor?
Yes.
So,
No.
Pale, like she's got very pale skin, long white hair.
also, terrifying music for description of an NPC.
It's perfect.
Yes.
Just commenting.
Well, I'm just leaving this. This is the battle music right now. The arena's still going on.
Oh.
You guys are led to your seats, and
Does my seat have monogram Party King on top of it?
no, it does not. It's a very
Yeah, they're-
comfortable. Think like theater seats.
I'm assuming they're empty. Like there's like no
Oh, you
designs
can't-
on them.
Yeah, they're just like I said, they're very comfortable like theater type seats.
Uh,
They're designed for like very much special guests of fate. And right now, you guys are the special guests.
Woohoo!
Yeah. What's our HP looking at right now?
I'm at 10.
The HP.
Some of us better than others.
Some
Yeah.
of you have not been healed.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I healed myself back up to full.
I'm
Yeah,
at 10.
you took a.
I essentially took
for a
a
rest on the
short
bottom.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at still at
Staros continued his trend of trying to rest in all fights.
2 HP. 2 HP. 2 HP.
Yeah.
I'm
I,
at
It
10.
takes a long time for me to recover from things.
Oh, I'm not looking too hot either.
Mm-mm.
So yeah,
That's
you
why
are
I
all
asked.
led to your seats in various states of woundedness.
I sit down and slouch.
And
I
as each of you sit down, your chair rotates to face
I
Fate and Anna.
hold on to like the. Are there armrests?
Yeah,
I hold on to the armrest as we rotate.
like they're it's like a slow rotation. Like they're
Yeah,
very,
I'm
everything is
surprisingly
very
okay with
gentle.
that.
I'm startled.
Being as you're being rotated to as far as you can tell, two very powerful people.
You know what, Ari? Thank you for that picture. That's exactly how I'm sitting in the chair.
What the
So
Yes.
as you rotate, you see Anna actually gives you a slight smile, and she says, "Now I can officially welcome you. Welcome to the Forgotten. Welcome to the Lost. I forgot.
Oh. We lost. But we won.
Those who wander are not lost.
Oh.
What? I don't.
Ash.
What?
May you never be forgotten." And she gives you a slight bow.
So confused.
I know,
Star is so confused.
confused.
Sean
I
bows his head slightly.
yeah. I nod. Still confused.
1,000-yard stare.
That was
Just like
first
how
there.
but I'm like the cogs in the Star's brain are trying to whir, but you're fairly certain you can see smoke pouring out of what remains of their ears.
And you see her stand up, and like opposed to the two times you have seen her where she's like completely like bloodlust, and like as she stands up, it's very much like a very elegant kind of ladylike approach as she stands up and starts approaches you all. And like I said, there's 6 chairs. Whoever would be the three in the middle, relatively. Each of you would be handed an envelope. It doesn't really matter. Each on the outside of the letter, you see the words. One says "Fell the King," the other says "House of Demons," and the third says "Lost Artifact."
Wait, what?
As as you open them up, these are each missions that you've been handed, and as you take and open this letter, she turns to you. Now it is time to choose your first mission. I know it is quick, but well, we don't rest around here. When she sits back down, as you read over each of them, you see that Fell the King is a mission about essentially this young new king has taken the throne, and it is essentially he murdered his father. These are the things they know. He murdered his father, and he's starting to enact laws that seem to be alienating anything that is not human within this city, and thus this group has been asked to find a way to get him to relinquish the throne by whatever means necessary.
Down with the king.
The second one, which is the House of Demons.
Thank you very
That
much,
one
Mystic, for the raid.
is
Hopefully you guys
essentially
enjoyed
there
her
are
stream.
people that have
D&D
gone
has
missing from
started.
this village, and you're
Hope you guys
being
enjoyed
brought
the
in to
roleplay.
investigate this. This village has been, over the past 3 centuries, ran by a group of vampires, which, in exchange for a little bit of blood here and there, they do their best to protect the citizens. And this is a very much well-established. They understand that they're being ruled over by vampires, but they have never had a reason to coup against them. And
it's kind of symbiotic? Interesting. Okay,
a
go
little
on.
bit.
Go on.
But now that people are missing, they're starting to get scared. So you're being asked to be brought in. The vampires have been very well. They have been very compliant with this, and they're actually bringing in all the surrounding beast tribes or monster tribes in for a kind of pseudo gathering under the guise of they just kind of want to reestablish laws and rules and this kind of posh society of ha 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 sort of thing. And during that time, you would be going in and investigating, trying to figure out who is doing this, because as far as they can tell, they've seen scratches and stuff like that. It isn't.
Thank you very much for
It is
the
not human,
11 months.
whatever is
Still
taken.
at tier 3.
But they can't find bodies. They can't find anything.
You're
like that.
amazing. Thank you for the continued support.
And the third is a mission, and this is actually in. I'm trying to think. Only one of you would know who wrote this, but I mean it's signed at the bottom, Blight. This is a mission directly from Blight, and it seems one of the artifacts that keeps the magic going in this city that you're currently in has gotten overcharged, and thus you need to find somebody to take this artifact to this small island
Thank
where
you very
they will
much,
discharge the magic
Crazy
from it.
TUK, for the follow.
And so you're actually being sent in to a meeting of pirates, and you're going to find a vessel there. So
Glad these old people are saying that.
yeah,
That sounds like
Yeah.
fun.
Been in the house for a month.
Interesting.
and you are to choose one of them.
I don't know about you guys, but Greshon's leaning towards the pirates.
So Star is like trying to like lean in, like. So anyone want to actually describe to me what they say?
Oh,
I
she
can't read.
Oh, right. I describe each one to Star.
Ooh, I like the one with the vampires. That sounds interesting.
I mean, for me, as long as we just go on a mission, I personally don't care. I just would like to get healed first. Because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
hurt.
both of you are still pretty messed up.
Me and Cabbage, we took the most beatings. Well, and Baldia.
That sounds like a
Well,
fun
we kind
time.
of all did.
as you say that out loud, you watch as healers kind of come rushing in. Though they aren't using magic, they're more just kind of using salves and stuff. And you get the feeling that over the course of this the arena going on, you're going to be healed.
But that didn't help.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is going
So-
quite well.
Slow healing process, but
This is nice.
it's healing and pampering.
You have to drop the little R.
Sure. Even though we just came from, a battle from, to hit the
Star.
whatever.
I get it.
As you guys are discussing and trying to figure out, your chairs are turned back around. You see out in the arena right now, the only thing that's going on is you essentially for the next few hours, people are coming in trying to settle any sort of disputes or anything that they have. Most of it is like, farmers being like, you stole my sheep. I didn't steal your sheep. And so they've decided to just kind of battle out. Most of the time, they're just like brawling and just punching each
Sheep?
other until one of them gives up. Some
That's-
every once in a while, you see actual soldiers coming in and kind of just testing their might. But as far as you can tell, the portion that's going on right now is essentially 1v1s of just people settling their differences.
So what's this place called?
This is just the hands arena. It's essentially just
Oh,
like
okay.
right now, it is set to a more of a sand pit sort of situation.
Okay.
But every once in a while, you'll see magic fly, and then you see them hitting like a large globe, and you can notice that like essentially everything is kind of filled in. Anytime someone goes down, runes appear on the ground, and they're kind of stabilized instantly.
I was just sitting there watching it, and then like every time someone gets a good hit in, he goes, "Oh, yeah."
I pull out my tankard and it is filled with alcohol.
Yeah, and there's like I said, there's
Mm.
especially because you're in the box, and even out in the arena, you can see people like that are just kind of moving around, filling tankards of beer and wine and stuff like that, and passing out snacks and all that. You guys just have easier access to that sort of stuff.
They call it snacks.
So feel free if you want to order snacks, special wines.
What about drugs?
You would like the olive?
You can't
Right for the
get
throat.
drugs around here.
My God.
You motherfucker. And I take out my special pouch of no.
Oh my God.
No,
Pouch of
as
the
far-
olive.
As far as drugs go, actually, you have access to like simple things, like essentially this like world's like forms of like weed and like lower impact drugs.
Hmm.
If you're looking for like the quote unquote good time drugs, those are more reserved for certain bars and other locations.
Every time Warren takes out like one of his like drugs or whatever, you just hear in the background, "Party King!"
It's not even when I pick out drugs anymore. It's like they see something that looks like drug. Like I just pick up like a normal olive and they're like, "Party King!" Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
Imagine
it's just,
kind of
it's
like
just in his mind.
Yeah, exactly.
kind of
Because
listening.
everyone
No one else
knows
hears
that
it.
every single time he does an action, it does like in the background.
Party King!
Actually, based upon some stuff I wrote, Star, can I have you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
Wait, who?
You.
Ooh.
Oh God, what?
Go star, go star.
Oh. Let's see, what's my modifier? Wisdom saving throw. Okay, that's gonna be a 5 grand total.
Okay. Fun. Okay, so
It was completely fine. Crazy.
while you guys are watching and having a good time, you see Star double over.
Oh yeah?
Oh, I know this song.
Is it Icon for Hire?
happens to me.
I glance over at Star.
And you guys are kind of like, you just see him like fall on the ground, and after about like 5 seconds, his head rises, his eyes are in the back of his head, and you just hear a voice coming out of his throat.
Oh god.
My eyes are just
Oh,
And then he
God.
wide.
snaps back.
It's
Ah,
that,
what-
it's that lady. It says succubus.
Because
What happened?
What did I experience?
Star, you feeling okay?
You don't know anything happened.
Okay, so it's
As
like,
far as you can tell, like you had like this pounding headache. You were in your chair, and then next thing you know, you're on the ground, like on all
Yeah.
fours.
what'd I miss? Who's winning? Who's losing? What's
Are
going on?
you good?
Do you not remember anything?
Remember what? I mean, I remember those guys out there.
I glance over at the rest of the party.
Who knocked me out of my chair?
I glance back at Star.
You knocked yourself out of your chair.
Remember that. Sit back down in the chair.
You were crying for help.
Another drink, please.
Does anyone like else
I,
notice?
I pound my drink back.
I just place my fingers on my right temple.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
We technically have not slept since we fought Graves.
Nope.
No.
My eyes are just
been a
open,
long
staring at
day.
the Coliseum, staring at in the center of the ring, and I'm just like,
Well, to be fair, after you fought Graves, essentially you guys woke up like a few days after fighting him.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, because you there was no portal where you fought him. You were actually like moved and knocked
okay.
out and moved.
oh. Well, it's still been a
but
long day.
last time you slept was
It's
after.
been a very long day then.
I'm just like,
Kind of flashbacks to the flight from Australia to LA. Oof.
Australia to LA isn't bad. Try
Depends on
going from here all the way to fucking Vancouver.
That's another bad one.
that probably be really fun too.
It was not fun.
I can imagine.
Agreed. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of like that. The time change.
But yeah, does anyone notice like what happened to Star other than us?
Oh yeah.
No, they probably would have noticed. Fate and Anna probably would have noticed, but they wouldn't have said anything.
All right.
Well, because they know enough about Star to know that they know enough about Star, but
Got you.
they're not highly concerned by it.
I look around to our party and I'm just like that was new for you guys too, right? Like that wasn't something we missed or anything before this.
Oh no. Yeah, that's 100% new.
I know, yeah. Look at those moves.
I glance over at Star.
I wanna point out I wanna share that yesterday me and Arian were explaining the puts up a finger, puts down a finger to cross, and we explained it as general confusion. I'm like, damn it, that's what we should have named our group, General Confusion.
Yes! Oh my god! I just realized.
It's not too late.
Yeah, like the name thus far is not set in stone until
Yeah.
after your first mission.
General Confusion's really fitting for us.
General,
But yeah.
I would
So
like general
during
confusion.
this time, you're watching the arena and picking out your missions. So feel free to discuss the mission,
Okay,
whatever else you're doing.
so we have the pirate one, the vampire
Yeah.
one,
Vampire or King.
or king.
Yes. So
I
you
like
had the
the
pirate
vampire
one, which is essentially a transport mission. The king, which, as far as you can tell, is probably going to end up being an assassination mission.
Possible.
And then the vampire one, which is going to be sort of an investigation type mission.
I mean, as a mercenary, I've done all three, so I don't have a preference. That's up for you guys.
I think we should help the townsfolk of that vampire village. It seems they may need some help.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Anything else?
I'm more inclined to say that one.
And you are told you're free to go in between them.
Okay.
Just
Can we do?
the more time that it takes, the worse things can get.
Oh, so there's like a pseudo time limit technically.
Kind of like nothing is like it. It's all slow progression.
Okay.
So like nothing seems like it's like you need to do this or bad
Or
things are gonna
everybody
happen. It's
dies.
more of a
Sorry, I'm
the
back.
longer you take away from the village, the more people that may disappear, and
Yeah.
the more the villagers may be on edge. As far as the pirate one goes, that's something that the longer it takes, the more charged this artifact becomes, and the more dangerous it becomes to transport.
Mm.
And then the assassination one, essentially, the longer it takes, the more strong this new king's footing becomes.
Time slowly marches onward.
Okay.
Personally, I'm more inclined to want to help the villagers first.
So,
I agree.
are we doing like all three?
You are also told that it may take a while for the pirate ship to be ready. So
So the more dire one comes first.
no, you can do whichever one first. I'm not pushing. I'm just saying, like, as far as the pirate one goes, like, essentially you need to find a ship, and then they have to get ready.
Okay.
So it may take a few days for them to get ship ready.
It-
Essentially, you're being sent into like a pirate bar.
Okay. Oh, okay. So are we eventually gonna end up doing all three? Like, is that the goal to do all three? Like, sometime?
You can. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting more missions at any sort of
Oh,
individual.
okay.
In theory, we can, but there's like he's not gonna say like we have to. Like in theory, we could skip one, or if
Yeah,
too much time
like-
passes, one becomes irrelevant anyway.
Okay, I see.
Regresses point to the past that we can actually do anything in it,
Yeah.
Or it becomes a new quest altogether.
Right.
or becomes completely
Yeah.
different.
Mm,
Makes sense.
Exactly.
okay.
Like, you
Okay.
leave that king alone for too long, eventually he's gonna have solid footing, and
Leave
Then
the weapon
he's
gonna
charged
be
for too
the
long,
king.
then something else happens. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Then he becomes the overlord,
There you go.
the invincible overlord.
but yeah.
pirate.
Invincible.
The pirate
Yeah,
king.
obviously this discussion was out of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I just like.
I mean, if I'm talking in accent, I'm talking as Star. If I'm not, then yeah.
And after just so you guys are after this one, after the first mission, there's smaller missions where like because these are more like the big ones. These are the ones that are gonna take a while. These are the ones where you're gonna gain a level. I'm going to introduce smaller ones where it's like, okay, you need
Side
more,
quests.
more like gear or more
Oh.
points and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, this one might take a session or two.
It's an MMO.
Okay.
Story quest and then side quest.
I mean, yeah.
And a lot of those break down into dungeon missions and just straight up fights.
Cool. Okay.
Valia looks towards Orn and she says, "What say you, Party King?" Riveting.
The party king has spoken.
Oh, and I forgot to say, each one of them at the bottom has who you'll be meeting with. The pirate one you'll be meeting with Blight, of course. The assassin one you'll be meeting with a girl named Bella, and the
Bella, help.
the assassin one you'll be meeting with, I believe, Stella.
That just killed Ari, and I think she choked because of that.
So Bella's the assassin. Stella is your investigation leader.
Could you imagine Bella as the fucking assassin though, Blaze?
Oh my god.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I literally Neil one time pissed me off, and I said, "Bella, attack!" and she ran after Neil.
That happened. She was just a puppy.
You can imagine a little assassin out with like dagger in the mouth. Like Sid.
So what's everyone's vote? Like, can we write down our votes so we know exactly like?
Oh,
who's-
yeah, sure.
However you wish to do it.
I'll pick the one that has the most.
Me too.
I typed it into the roll 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm gonna have to fucking roll for this. Hold up.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he's torn between two.
Assassin kitties.
I heard assassin titties.
Yes.
It's the same thing as puppies, really.
I mean, you know.
God
I mean,
fucking
I
damn
think-
it, Blaze! How dare you bring that back?
It must be an Australian thing.
Some things never leave.
I see
Oh,
where it's
assassin
going.
kitties!
Oh lord.
I don't have a puppy version of it, so it's cute.
Put down your votes. I can tally this.
I already did.
Okay.
I have 2 for vampire.
Why does it do this to me?
That's what's up, crazy.
It's just like, god damn it.
I don't know what the blight pirate thing.
Yeah, that's
Light,
pirate.
light is pirate.
Light writ.
Oh man.
What?
So 1.
Kingy
Oh,
boy.
okay, now I understand.
You had to reread it, didn't you?
I did.
Mm.
It's
Party
one
king
letter off.
chose the king.
I'll probably go with vampire.
Kingy.
It's literally one letter off, man. So
Oh
I
wait,
had to
sorry,
reread that.
I should probably act this out. I look at the pieces of paper. I take out my dice.
Yeah.
I roll it. It's a damn 1.
Yeah, vampire's already won.
Yeah.
My disappointment is.
I mean, Grashon's not bothered either way because it was either pirate or the vampires first over Kingy Boy.
Poor Ori.
The only
Okay.
person who had any.
Yep.
Traveler.
Traveler, where has you forsaken me?
Or maybe you guys were forsaken the traveler.
you guys discuss this.
Any bad luck that happens on this mission is your guys' doing, not mine.
Don't worry, TPK.
It wouldn't be the first time.
I'm assuming you all kind of, like everyone's talking, you all kind of agree on vampires. Anyone going to be like, no, and throw a hissy fit?
Looks at Orin.
Glances at Orange.
Yep,
Well, you
everyone's staring.
see, in my experience in traveling the many planes of existence, I think it would be a good idea to at least begin the charter of a ship before we begin this vampire mission.
But
Doesn't sound like a bad idea.
oh,
That'll end up costing us more unless it doesn't.
I think we should stick with one thing at a time.
Yeah. I mean, as far as charting the ship goes, you understand that, like, essentially, you just need to find a captain and make sure that they're ready.
So would we need to get like any sort of like supplies before these? starts?
Not.
we're gonna need a steak.
That
and
is
some
why you
garlic,
have
some
people on the
silver.
ground. They're going to have information on the supplies that you need. Especially Blight, who's going to have. He's Blight.
Basically, I already got some drug dealers planted in the settlement. some downloads, and they're going to give me my 8 balls of coke. Okay, we're going to be fine.
I
You're
love
so
it.
loyal for them.
I love it. Why? It's too good.
Don't question this too much, because if you do, I'm going to make my character a fucking drug dealer. It'll happen.
I thought you were about to say you're gonna make him a drug lord.
Yeah,
That too.
we already assumed that, first bit.
So as you guys are discussing this, the arena's going on. Like I said, constant 1v1s, occasionally 2v2s, 3v3s, but they're nothing special. And then eventually, you see Brick, who's the announcer, walk out, and kind of hear everyone shout again.
Yeah.
And he steps out and he goes, "Well, is everybody ready for the main event?"
Oh.
Everyone shouts out again.
Grashon's ears twitches.
You as he raises his hands, you watch as a small chunk of earth underneath him kind of separates and starts rising up towards the top of the dome. The earth then fixes itself, and he goes, "Break the walls!" And you watch as the the wards that you have seen resurrecting people
Oh,
appear and then shatter.
Resurrect people that have
fallen in battle
fallen.
Pretty
like,
much, if you go down, you stay down.
this time.
Oh, okay.
Safety nets off.
Yeah.
I sit
he
up on this
goes-
one.
Let me introduce those that are bound to be executed.
Oh.
Go on.
And you watch as the gates on one side open up, and you see three figures step out. The first is a young elf. Yes, you see a young elf step out. She has a bow on her back, and she's wielding a double-bladed scimitar.
Wait. This is one of the people that are about to be executed? Why the hell are they allowed a weapon?
It's a
It
fight.
will be
It's a
revealed.
main event. It's a fight.
Quiet.
You
This
see
is
her
an
step out,
execution.
and you hear her look down her. Asala. Charge. Trying to kill the one she was bound to protect. And then you see a Goliath woman step out. She is wielding 2 axes, and is, I guess I wouldn't say bare-chested, but you know, wrapped. She has a well-built stomach. You have a feeling she is some sort of barbarian. Eleanor, charge the destruction of the village of Castlevin. And then you see a tiefling man step out. He is well armored. It is chainmail. In each of his sides, you see actually wands. Ilfric, son of Elfenstein. Charge the distribution and sales of dark magic books. And then finally, you see a small gnome be pulled out. This is the only one that you see in chains, by the way. And you see behind them, you see someone with a war chest, and they set the chest in front of them and chain them, and they hurriedly go back behind the gate. And finally, Creek, who with a heavy heart, the burning and destruction of the village of Elfwind.
Wait, what? Excuse me? Wait, wasn't
Wait a minute.
Tilt's head? Out of character, wasn't that... I swear I recognize the name. I think my brain's just being dumb. But wasn't that fucking
Fucking crab rave song.
Yes.
Playing during an execution.
Perfect.
The crowd is going wild.
We haven't met Creek. Destruction
So
of
we have-
Elfwind.
So we haven't met them.
No, you've never met any of these people.
Okay, because I was like, wait a minute.
Honestly, it sounded a little familiar. I thought that's what I was like. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I don't, unless you've heard. Creek is one of those, like, characters from another D&D things that maybe you've heard me talk about them. But
Maybe? I don't know.
anyway, they Creek, for the burning and destruction of Elfwind, who every member was crucified. 32 in total. All had to be put out of misery. And you notice this. As he looks up, he just has a wide grin. Oh, they have a wide grin on their face, and their eyes are just blank.
He looks a little too happy to be executed.
Either that or proud.
Honestly, I think he's going to survive this.
And he is
That's his
wearing
name.
heavy armor. Or as you see them put on heavy armor and pull out a scimitar and a shield. And yes, the scimitar lights ablaze.
Oh.
And no, for the executioner! And the crowd just erupts. Today, we have a special treat for you all. The lady has returned! And the crowd just screams.
They're dancing back and forth as if they're crabs.
320 victories under her belt, 0 losses. May I present the lady, the god, Elizabeth.
Oh!
Gate. And the gate opens up, and you see this slightly tan woman, flowing blonde hair. She looks somewhat familiar to you guys,
Yep.
just slightly, though you have never met her. And she comes out and she raises her hand, and the crowd's cheering. She's wearing, plate mail. And then you watch as she puts her hands down. You watch as 2 wings unfurl from her back, and then you see a multiple golden spirals appear in the sky, and you watch as series of weapons just start pummeling the ground across the arena.
Cool. That's sick.
Enema Elish? Much?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Gates of Babylon have been opened.
Yes.
And so she steps out. She has no weapons in her hands currently. And you see everyone kind of getting ready on the other side. Everyone's kind of sweating and jittering, except for Creek, who's just kind of standing there.
Creek kind of scares me. Makes me very.
Can you say that out loud?
Usually
Yeah.
the ones that are the meanest survive. Usually. That's
That's
my
what you would
experience,
probably
yes.
want. Grashon just turns and says that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And you watch as Brick's in there, and he goes, he has his hands up, and he goes, begin! And he just, as he puts his hands down and says begin, he just vanishes from the arena. And everyone but Creek goes darting off into quarters of this arena, trying to get vantage points. Elbeth is kind of moving forward, and you watch as she grabs 2 short swords, pulls them out of the ground, spins them, and just kind of stands there. And you watch as the Goliath barbarian comes charging towards her, and effortlessly she just slashes her stomach and then turns. Like as she slashes her stomach, you see the sword sink in. She releases it, turns, takes the other one, stabs it at an assassin that you hadn't seen before behind her, and just pins them to the wall.
Damn.
Okay.
And grabs a spear and just kind of chucks it behind her head and pins the Goliath to the other back wall through her head.
My dog drops.
And the assassin, as she pins the Goliath to the wall, the assassin vanishes. you'll see Creek is just still standing there staring. But you now see a magical circle forming in front of them. And as Elizabeth finishes this in like a fluid motion, she raises her hands, and you watch as multiple weapons in the arena kind of rise up and start just moving towards just different fighters in the arena, just kind of seeming to act on their own. As she takes her hand and, like a bow-like motion, pulls it back, and you see a golden bow appear in her hand as she gets prepared to fire a magical arrow. At Creek. And as these weapons are swinging around and fighting, you see the elf is just kind of floating around, kicking them off. Seem to do a good job. Creek, yet again, not moving. The sorcerer is just getting mauled and slashed because he's useless in close quarter combat, especially as a magical spear and a greatsword are just kind of chopping into him. And you watch as Elspeth pulls the arrow back and releases it. And in that moment, as that arrow's flying, you watch as a small pony, armored, appears under Creek, and Creek just dashes off, and the arrow misses. And you can kind of see, as this is moving around, you see small monitors, magical monitors, kind of appear above the window, each of a different perspective of the people. And you as you look at one of the monitors, you see that Creek's face starts to harden, and that blankness kind of vanishes, and that smile fades as this sort of battle-torn look takes over their face. And in the arena, you see Elspeth kind of stutter for a moment, not quite sure of how she missed. So she darts into the far right corner where the mage is. And as she does, you see her pick up a dagger and kind of throw it. And just it hits the mage kind of square in the chest, and he just kind of falls over. You see Creek kind of take a long, wide turn and charge towards Elspeth, and slams into her, kind of knocking her over and making her stumble. And the horse kind of kicks her in the face as he comes down and just starts slashing at her face. And unfortunately, at this moment, she doesn't have a weapon in her hand, so she just kind of has her arms up blocking it, and she's getting slashed and burned across her arms. The ranger has disappeared, actually. And you would have seen her kind of glimmer for a second and vanish, and the weapons themselves just kind of clatter to the ground, not having a target anymore. Now Elspeth disengages from Creek, and Creek takes a slash at her back and misses. And she runs towards the mage, who is now dead. The weapons have clattered, but she picks up the greatsword, and kind of, as she does, she turns to kind of face Creek. And as she does, you actually see 3 arrows kind of appear from her down left and to the right, sort of in that kind of corner. They kind of curve and slam into her side as the ranger reappears. she is actually what did she do? She at this moment, like you say her wings kind of flash and sort of energy starts emitting from her. And as she reaches into the greatsword, you see the greatsword kind of flashes too, and it splits in twain. So now she has a greatsword in each hand. And you watch as a second pair of wings sprout from her back. And you watch as one of the blades lights up bright red with fire, and the other one in a bright white fire. And she... Yes, she is. It's a very special one, though. And she... what did she do?
Very cool.
She impales herself with the swords.
No. She... This one... Yes, okay, so you see, as this happens, you watch as this sort of glowing orb forms around her. And she charges towards Creek. And as she does, she kind of just like slashing. She's actually looks like she's actually trying to target the horse, but as she does, Creek, she seems to be like kind of moving in a way that makes it difficult to hit the horse instead of them. And you watch as in retaliation you see Creek just kind of trying to slash at her, but as he does, it's almost like he hits his barrier of energy, and it just kind of like slows him for a second, and she just seems to be effortlessly dodging him. While the ranger just seems to be trying to pummel arrows, but yet again, as they hit this barrier, they just seem to be slowing down and kind of burning up as they pass through. And you watch as the ranger kind of takes one of her arrows, throws it up, and this kind of shower of arrows just comes slamming down.
Oh. What's she gonna do
Uh,
now?
I just immediately thought Sagittarius arrow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Kind of just comes slamming down, but like the barrier just seems to like absorb the magic from it.
Whoa.
And you watching as like each of these slashes hit, she's just kind of Creek is just starting to like get bloodier and bloodier and bloodier as she's just kind of hammering stuff into them. And but like this battle hardened kind of look in Creek's face just does not break, and they seem to just be kind of pushing forward as these blows hit. And with like one final slash, she eventually gets through to the horse and just kind of decapitates it, just one fell swoop.
Oh no, the horse.
And it actually just vanishes as this happens.
Oh.
And you see her as as they're falling, she kind of takes one of the great swords as kind of all this magic around her just kind of breaks at once, and she takes it, and the flame, this would be the flame sword, kind of just it highly ignites, and you watch as this like just great pillar of flame erupts as she just kind of slams it down and pins them to the ground.
That's sick.
And the other sword is just now a normal great sword as she just slowly walks over to this ranger who just is just like you can just see the fear in her eyes as she's just kind of arrow after arrow after arrow, and then eventually like as she's just getting closer, she kind of you kind of see her put the bow away and pull out the double scimitar and like kind of almost like a fluid motion, like you've kind of seen Star do something similar. It's almost like this like almost walking in air sort of technique as she just kind of quickly comes in and just starts trying to slash at her, like but she like comes in and then like kind of dances out and dances back in.
Cool.
and like each time, like you kind of see each time just out of the just like it's almost like a flash as Elspeth is just kind of just slamming her hands into her, like not even using the greatsword, just kind of punching her as she comes in. You kind of see her like as this winding dance kind of stops. You kind of see her standing, this ranger, and she's just kind of blood pouring. And you kind of see as Elspeth gets there, she drops the sword and just kind of reaches up, takes her by the face, and just you see her like whisper something to her, and then just snap her neck.
Oh,
Well, that was brutal.
that was incredible. Holy crap.
And you kind of hear the crowd fall silent for a solid like 20 seconds. As Elspeth's just kind of standing there covered in her blood, everyone else's blood. And eventually she just kind of like has her head down and just kind of raises her hand. And the crowd erupts in this cheer.
Now that's a warrior.
Was
Fascinating.
was she one of the people we were meant to drive?
Make whoever wants to make a perception check.
I'm definitely
Doing it.
making one.
Everyone does?
Okay.
So this is more to like try to suss out the details of like her.
Cocked.
Oh, that's
17 plus 5 is what? 22?
I rolled a natural 18.
18.
18. Okay, so most of you would at looking at her features, you find a lot of similarities between her and Freya
Oh.
in the face shape and the way they kind of present themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They must be related. Or
I think you might be onto something there.
maybe sisters, but
Mm.
I'm not quite sure about that one.
Either way, don't fight them.
Don't
I think we can all agree on that one, yeah.
As you say this, you kind of see Rick coming down, and he's like, "And now, who wants to challenge her for the cup?" And you see no hands going up.
I'm kidding.
I glance around at the party, and then I look back at the ring, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing it either.
Paired cup.
Or it's like, yes?
A cup can be used for many things.
Yeah.
For rolling dice, for ingesting beverages.
I heard cup.
What kind of cup we talking?
You see nobody coming down. He's like, "That's a good choice." He kind of reemerges into the arena, and he goes, "Oh, that's what I call a fight."
Slowpoke, nice.
That was not a fight, that was an execution.
But it definitely was a fight. They put up a fight. They didn't win. But they fought.
And then you kind of see the cage is open. You see a bunch of figures in kind of black robes kind of emerge. So you notice that these ones would be different from anyone that had come out before to the ones while the seals were activated. And they start, gathering up these executed bodies.
Are they Undertakers?
Dong.
You get the feeling that like these are more of the people that have they'd be more or less they'd be taking people to the graveyards.
Necromancer?
But as you see them picking up the body, you see them start taking them away, and then you hear behind you you hear kind of this loud heel click against the ground as all the arena doors shut before these people can exit. and you all turn around and you see Fate standing up, and hear her like see her quickly drawing a rune in the air, and then just hear her shout, "Detain them! Those are not the Undertakers."
Oh,
And
holy
And-
crap.
you see Anna stand up, and she's like, she comes over to you and goes, "I need to get you out of here now.
Oh,
Come with me."
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and as you guys are leaving, you kind of out of the corner of your eyes, you see on the monitors, you see one the people in the black robes. She pulls back her hood and kind of smiles exactly where that monitor is, and she looks almost identical to Fate.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Her evil twin.
That's what I was thinking.
And as you're being exited out of the arena doors, you kind of you see people kind of scrambling, and you see soldiers kind of guarding everyone out, and you actually see mages that have stepped forward to the edge of this arena and are trying to solidify this barrier. But also in the arena, you see that same lady kind of quickly draw this rune, and this black portal opens up in the center of this arena as she dumps the bodies in, and all those cloaked members kind of jump in after her, and then she kind of waves just slightly in the box's direction, and then back falls into the portal, and it shuts.
Are they
I think
Uh,
gathering bodies
if,
for their army or something?
Whoa. That was a twist.
Huh.
I glance over at Fate. So, why does that one look like you?
You're out of there. You've been ushered out.
Oh,
At this point,
okay,
you
so
left
we
the
didn't-
box,
okay,
and
okay.
you're essentially being taken towards the portal out of the arena.
Okay.
We'd be with Anna, wouldn't we?
Yeah, you'd be with
Okay. For sure. Whoa.
and
That
yeah.
was-
She takes you to the portal and just kind of goes, "Go."
Okay.
But who were they?
We'll
Don't ask
explain to you on
questions,
the
just
other
go.
side. Get out of here now.
No questions. Just go.
Yeah,
Yeah, come on.
she's just
So we just go, I guess.
Get through.
yeah. As you step through this portal, you kind of like usually when you step through it, it's kind of like this kind of nice moment of you like felt like you're stepping through a door. This one just kind of sucks you in, and you find yourselves in this kind of like underground. It almost feels like a cell, but like you can see before you like a wooden door, dark stone walls. It's very musty, kind of like you're in a cellar.
Okay.
Okay, so now can we start asking what's going on here?
Yeah, and then the door opens, and you see you see an elf, and his eyes are actually binded.
Thank you very
It's like
much
almost
for
essentially
the
a blindfold.
host, Vampiric Phoenix.
And
Hope
he
you-
just
hopefully
kind
you
of
enjoy the
motions
stream and all your
comes in the
viewers.
door.
There you go.
Okay. So we go that way.
Yeah, I follow.
And as you exit, you find yourselves in this room. It is, as you look up, the sky is pitch black, and you're in essentially a field of glowing flowers that kind of stretch as far as you can see.
What color are the flowers?
They are glowing purple, blue, red. Occasionally you see a spot of kind of this murky yellow.
Pretty, but why are we here?
I have a bad feeling about this, guys.
Who exactly are you?
I am a person
watch me.
We watch.
Okay, that's not creepy at all.
You've been watching us?
No, no. Like a baby.
Like a what?
I am here to get you out.
Oh. Oh,
Okay.
what's happening?
Well, to put it in layman's terms, we have been invaded. By
That's no good.
a very bad organization. You know them as the Forgotten.
Oh.
Wait, weren't we just called the Lost?
Yes, they are. They used to be a part of us, but not anymore. Their
So-
beliefs have been distorted.
So you're telling me that lady we saw on the screen, that was Fate's possible sister then? Is that her doppelganger?
Oh, not possible. It is her sister. They started this organization together.
Oh. Oh.
Then why is it called Fate's Hand now?
Well, I mean, would you want to be? Whether. Oh, dear children, you are very confused, aren't you?
Mostly, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a little bit of an understatement.
Fate's Hand is more of the acronym for the soldiers. The city itself is called the City of the Lost.
Oh.
It is. We have built this city as a way for those seeking redemption, those that have been lost, to find themselves.
Okay.
As we say, the lost are never forgotten. And thus why they took on the name the Forgotten.
So why she come today?
That's what we are trying to figure out. Until now, they have not been able to re-breach the city. He thought we had taken away their keys, but it seems they have found a way in.
I mean, you can pick a lock, but I don't know about this magic stuff.
They seem to have used portal magic of some kind.
But
Then what are
portal
we
magic,
supposed to do?
nothing, unfortunately.
We go to the vampires.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I am to get you out of the city. For we are going to have to shuffle it, as they say. And most of our magic would be expended in doing so.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
So while you're shuffling the deck of the city, whatever, we're going to go vampire hunting. Maybe.
Ignore Star. We're gonna.
Ignore Star.
No.
No, it's like ignore Star and then repeats exactly what
Yeah,
he said.
exactly. That's basically what I did.
What, is it my voice or something?
There.
But,
That answers my next question. So you have chosen to save the vampires.
yes.
Yes.
Very good. Follow me.
Okay. Wait,
Right,
you're blind. How, okay.
Don't ask questions, remember?
Right. Moving on.
Questions bad.
Questions bad. Questions bad. So yeah, he guides you through the flowers, and as you're walking, you see some that are like kind of die, and then some that just quickly rebloom.
Can you pick the flowers?
And no one here has enhanced dark vision, right?
Enhanced?
Hold up.
Oh, I think one person does.
Enhance what? I'm sorry.
Enhanced dark vision.
You do not have it.
No, I don't.
What would
Do you,
give
do you have
that?
dark vision that goes out to 120?
Wait, past 100 feet? Let me see.
Yeah.
Because it'd be
Nice.
6. It should be. It'd be 100, 120. Actually, no, because you're half
No.
drow. Never mind.
Yeah, the only person would be Orn, but he's only half.
He's only half.
Unless
Okay.
one of the
Oh,
warlocks
same.
took that little well
Yeah,
warlock
the
thing.
magical eye.
Yeah,
Nope,
I can't remember what it's called.
sure didn't.
So yeah, you guys are you're guided through this flower field, and he guides you to this small circle, and it's a circle of white flowers that are glowing, and in the center is just completely empty. And you watch as he takes a small dagger and slices the tip of his finger and draws some runes. And a small portal opens up. He looks at you and goes, "Good luck in your adventures."
Good luck with whatever's happening in the city.
Fine.
Hi.
Unfortunately, we
Jumps
don't get to
through.
solve this.
Darn, not so quick.
Too late, already gone.
Well, let's go. And I step through.
Okay.
And we all follow.
Okay. You all dive into the.
We all die?
God, I thought you said we
I was
all
like-
die. You said that so slow. Oh my
I
god.
was like, whoa. Back taking that.
And you all die
Time to reroll
into
character
the portal.
sheets.
Yeah.
Right.
We all are dead now. Good luck to you.
Never trust a blind elf.
A blank page.
If you can't ask the elves what do your elf eyes see, there's something wrong, okay?
Good
Ooh,
reference.
new page.
Yeah. So you all will find yourselves on the edge of a forest. As you emerge, you see a young drow elf waiting for you.
Oh. Hello.
Yes. Okay. So, yep, you see a young drow elf waiting. She's wearing like a dark cloak. She's got a pair of daggers at her sides and a short bow on her back.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you all? Are things
Eh,
going okay?
Pretty well,
in the
yeah.
city?
yeah, the city is burning down behind us, but we're fine.
Ignore
Like-
Star.
Like actual burning or metaphorical burning? Because it's usually on fire.
Well, apparently there was like some kind of like crazy lady that looks like Fate that was going to, destroy everything. She took some dead bodies, but she escaped. Now
The
they're trying to
Forgotten.
rearrange things. Yeah, stuff like that. Anyways, how are you today?
Well, good considering. And she just kind of gives you a side glance. She's very confused. Saying,
And as she looks at me, I just I do like a hand motion. I was just saying, ignore him.
and as she's kind of looking, you see like you see this black raven appear on her shoulder and kind of like say something in her ear and then vanish again. She's like, and that confused look kind of grows into like a wide-eyed look, and she goes, "Oh, I understand what you're saying now.
Good. Okay, now why are you here?
I'm here to guide you.
She's
Awesome,
part of the
let's go.
quest.
I assumed you got the letter.
Oh yeah, we got the letter.
Wait, who has that?
I pull out the letter. I had the vampire one.
Shut
Dad.
off.
I wonder who it's from.
Your mom.
Is it me?
Then I take it that means you are Stella.
That is me, yes. Hello.
Hi.
What? So, let me catch you up on the goings on here. So, up until now, Lady Serena and Mortimer have been looking over the city of Alaris, for a few centuries now. Things have been going good. No one's really died to anything other than old age. The occasional, oh no, a new mage has appeared. They accidentally burned down the family village. That kind of stuff. Normal things.
Oh, no,
Nice.
no,
So
that's
nothing out of
normal,
the
that's normal.
ordinary.
Yeah,
No, that's
nothing,
pretty
nothing
normal.
out of the ordinary. Up until a few weeks ago, people have started disappearing at an, I wouldn't say alarming
Someone
rate,
take it.
but
Okay.
uh,
Thank you.
usually people don't go missing. If they do, they usually, found a day or two later because they had a tryst in the woods. But these ones haven't been returning. Unfortunately, the villagers have gotten antsy. The 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 older ones understand that these things happen from time to time, but the younger ones, there's been talk of a revolt against the Cruxes. And so that's where you are to come in. They would, in the next few days, some of the neighboring settlements are going to be sending over their ambassadors, and we are to try and figure out what the hell is going on. If I've seen anything, any sort of monsters, anything out of the ordinary. Uh, Now, as far as you guys go, no one knows you're here, other than me, of course. I would like to keep this under wraps, if that is all right with you.
That's perfectly fine.
Sure, we'll be very discreet.
Well,
We
there are
will
no
be
well, there are
like
no issues with that.
the
I
night.
have to ask where will we be staying?
We have provided a. I don't know exactly what to call it, and she kind of goes, like you see, like hear her like mumbling something, like under her breath. And for those of you that understand Undercommon, she's essentially just going over words and just kind of like trying to find the right word. She's like, mansion, big house, mobile.
Grace Sean, like I out of character. I obviously don't know the language because I'm an idiot.
Okay.
But yeah, Grace Sean would attempt to help her with the word by suggesting house.
Place raids.
She
Sleeping
Draw,
place.
draw
kind
out
of looks
for
at you and goes, they got really big magical house.
House.
So,
Oh, okay,
sleeping
cool. We
place.
have a house.
magical house.
That's what you were trying to say. Okay.
And she like pulls out this like card, and it's like a size of a playing card essentially. And you see this strange rune kind of crafted into it. Now we just have to figure out where to put it.
How
And
are we all going to sleep on that? It's tiny.
The house comes out of it, Star.
Oh.
Magic. Magic.
and you see her kind of like walk over to like you see these two trees have grown together in this sort of almost doorway like thing, and you see her. She says, "Alafasanya," and kind of throws it in between the trees, and you watch as this fancy woven door kind of appears.
We have a magical treehouse.
Damn. Yes.
Time to go back in time.
Oh yeah.
Good
This
one.
should allow you access to your house. I know it's not the most convenient of places, but we have to kind of keep it on the down low. You know?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
I
let's
know.
go inside. I want to see the place.
She's like, oh, you want to go in now? Sure.
Yes.
But this.
Don't-
Okay. And she lets you all
I want to
walk in
see.
to this treehouse, that's essentially what it is. You see, it's this essentially like imagine like the world's largest treehouse
Ooh.
sort of setting where like they have this kind of everything's wood floors. You see this like nice like kind of living room area. It's got this like sofa like thing that's like just kind of intertwined branches with this leaf sort of covering. And you see like a set of spiraling staircases up this like large trunk of a tree.
This is cool.
I've
Each
always
level is a
wanted
different
one of
room.
these.
And you see
This is great. I love this. This
You
is
see-
nice.
like all the walls are kind of covered in like different bushes and things.
Interesting.
And in the very center of the room is a small kind of is this very tiny brush with these like almost perfectly round berries on it.
What's that?
As you look around, she's not in this house with you.
What?
Oh.
Wait. Where'd she go?
Wait.
Weird.
What did the berries? Hold on.
No. Don't touch the
What?
berries.
What? I was like literally just about to grab one. I'm like,
No.
what's that?
Stop.
They're here.
We don't know if they're like
Stop.
poisonous or something.
Ah, that's fine.
No, it's not
Star.
fine.
No, you just Puko gets up for about 24 hours, and then they just get you're fine. You're fine.
Well, Star, we don't have 24 hours.
Oh right, we have a job. Oh, I have a job. Ah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we actually have a job
We should
now.
probably find out what we have to do before we rest, even though I'm sure all of us want to at this point.
Damn
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So none of you eat the berries.
Absolutely
No.
not.
Encourage Star.
Stop.
I like to imagine everyone turns their back and starts to leave, and Cabbage is like, "Do it."
What do the,
Do it, Star. Do it.
what do the berries
Go
look
ahead,
like
do
again?
it.
They're just like little red, perfectly round berries.
Is there anything off-putting about them?
Oh no,
They actually look
They're
quite delicious.
cherries.
Star. Do
How,
it.
how
Thank you,
delicious
Brad, for the
is talking
host.
here?
It's like
Okay,
really
so
good.
I'm gonna make a sleight of hand
I
to
want
try
one.
to snag one of them.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me double check to make sure I'm describing these right.
We're all like starting to walk out.
Make sure you describe these right. If
Alright,
you
hold on,
describe
I'm
it
roll- I'm
wrong,
rolling sleight of
I
hand.
want one.
Oh boy! All right.
I don't think it matters how they look. Star's taking one regardless.
No, I'm
Yeah.
taking one. Yeah. Will
Take's like,
a
I'm gonna do it sneakily. Orange is like, I'm just gonna take one off the
Will a
fucking side. I don't give a
24
shit.
will a 24
perception
Wow.
Yeah,
check.
so like they're
Yeah,
like
24.
essentially they look like cherries.
Oh,
Oh fuck yeah! I'm popping one of those
Yeah.
in my mouth.
Yeah, so I'm snagging one. I just have one.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten it
You
yet, but I
pop
have
it
one.
in, and you know what? You feel kind of full. Feel full.
Oh,
Feel
berries.
like you've had a good day's meal from this berry.
It's a good berry or whatever they're called.
No, that's literally what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah, they're called good berries.
Yeah.
No metagaming though.
So you don't feel only stomach feels full, not your heart.
Look,
Ooh.
only.
If you eat enough of them, maybe eventually your heart will be full too.
No, no
Stop.
food will ever fill my heart like Mama Nerth.
Oh my god. yes.
Oh.
So,
It all
yes,
goes back
Her
to mama.
spider stew. Mwah.
these berries provide enough nutrients and such for a day.
So yeah,
Like,
I
are
pocketed
berries, like
this
juicy
berry.
berries? Like, would there be anything on like my fingers or anything after popping one of these?
It just
in
like
my
I
mouth?
always thought of them as like almost like goji berries, sort of like thing.
Yeah, no, I
Because
agree with you.
they provide like water too, I believe.
Yeah, it's enough nutrients to
I was
sustain a
a-
person for 24
Yeah.
hours.
So like I always just thought they were like almost goji type berries. So like burst in your mouth.
Oh fuck yeah! Then I probably have like
Never had
some
one.
kind of like berry juice. I'm like licking my fingers and shit. Like I'm happy with this.
Only
This
ever
is
had
my
like the
life.
dry kind.
I have not had it at all.
Feels like fucking tomatoes.
Buddy, you've eaten a couple of cherries I've given you. I know that for certain. Just think of that.
Oh,
Yeah, just think of this as a cherry.
Yeah.
Like a cherry tomato.
No, literally just a cherry.
interesting.
Like pit and everything.
They are.
Huh.
Yeah, the two people that eat them, you feel refreshed.
Oh, I have not eaten it. I pocketed it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. But one person who has eaten it feels full and refreshed.
Yep, I have eaten it. I have sucked the juice off of my fingers. I'm feeling full and refreshed.
So, how was it? You good?
It
You're gonna die?
felt good. It almost reminded me of home.
almost.
Almost.
Almost. No one can match Mama's cooking.
Not quite, but we're almost there.
Okay. All right. Okay. That is good to
Habanero.
know. See, this is why I wanted to come inside this. You know, look at the place. You know, just remember what it looks like. Remember where it is. You know what is inside, what we can use.
Star, it would have
Yes.
been here when we came back.
True, but we wouldn't have known about those things.
We would have when we come back.
Okay.
This is becoming
Who's,
frustrated.
who would say? Well, no, because you're at the bush. So, Orin, you'd feel like a small tug on the bottom of your pants leg,
Uh-oh.
Oh.
and as you
Is it
look down,
Dobby?
you see this like 1 foot tall little wooden like almost like imagine like a little wooden golem.
Oh,
Oh.
And he's got this little bow tie on, and he looks up at you and goes,
Oh my
"What's
gosh,
it up, huh?
a little butler.
Boy, you."
Little butler. What did he say? Sorry.
This is a boy.
I don't know what he said.
What
I'm
language
guessing
is that?
in none of the languages that I speak.
that is absolutely not mine.
No. What language?
What language was
Fluffy?
that?
This would be oh fuck, I can't remember exactly. It's the language from the Feywild, and I can't remember. Actually, it would be Elvish.
Is it Sylvan?
Sylvan,
Elvish?
yes.
I
Yeah,
know
that's
Sylvan.
Oh
That's
my
Sylvan,
god.
yeah.
So
I know Sylvan.
so yes,
So you understand.
you understand this. Hello, master. How may I help you to enjoy the berries?
Ah. Yes. Yes, I did. Who are you?
They call me Stump.
Oh, he's so cute.
You must
I
protect this
I-
thing at all costs.
Yes. we
I
must
am-
be keeping it all
I
right.
am the protector of this tree fort.
And we are the protector of Stump.
Yes.
I've known Stump for 5 seconds, and if anything were to happen to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Heck yeah, dude.
We
Same.
must protect. We must at all costs.
I'm sorry, I've been watching Steven Universe, and so all I can think is Watermelon Steven right now.
Oh my gosh.
My God.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Stump. Did you provide the berries too?
I provide everything.
Ah.
Everything.
You are inside of me.
Oh, what?
Wait, is he talking in Sylvan still or in Common?
Everything. He only knows Sylvan, by the way.
Okay, so we don't
Okay,
hear. Okay, so I
good.
don't hear him.
How many other people know Sylvan?
I don't.
I
None.
definitely don't.
Am I just talking to a tree by myself?
Yeah.
You sure?
Everyone else just hears.
Are we hearing Italian?
Essentially.
That's
Bob
what
it
it
a
sounds
movement,
ancient,
David, move it
right?
up, Bob it. Babidi-boopy.
I guess yeah, he has an Italian accent.
Fascinating.
We have accepted that Sylvan is Italian. Got it.
Fascinating. Only in the Feywilds.
Babidi-boopy.
Insert Salt Bay here.
Italian dump person. Got it. Okay, written down in my notes. Oh my god. Well, thank you. Wait, did you say we're in? You know what? Never mind.
And he, as he goes, he's like rubbing his belly. Inside.
Adorable.
As he gets his ear going, "Abadadoopy," and as he rubs his belly.
God, I don't know what to say to this creature.
So what's he
Everyone
saying?
should Ori translate for us?
Do you guys ask me to translate? Do you guys?
Or-
What are you guys
yes.
noticing out of this?
Yeah, you're speaking Italian.
Yeah,
That you're speaking
Italian.
Italian, and the tree thing is rubbing its stomach.
I'm very confused. What's going on?
Okay, so seeing your confused look,
Yep.
confused look, I'm going to look at you. Oh, you must not know Sylvan.
I didn't know that
No.
was a language.
What's that?
Ah, yes. You travel a couple planes. You pick up some things. He says that he is Stump, and that he guards this place. Also, that we're inside him.
What?
Not
What?
so sure on that last bit.
Abadadoopy, and he rubs his stomach again.
Yes, inside him, he says.
What?
Yummy.
I glance around the house.
And as he does that, he like jiggles, and you see like all the little branches on the side jiggle a little bit.
What?
That's
Bippity boppy.
Wait, but doesn't that mean he's also inside him?
Yes.
Oh god, don't go down
Wait
this
a
hole.
minute.
Deep.
Stump is actually an old.
Inception. Blah.
Inside.
I'd rather not question this.
It's
Don't
infinite.
ask questions.
Well, Stump, thank you for letting us in. I think we will be back later. Is it okay if I take some of these to go?
I will
Nice
just
blueberries.
grow more.
I'll take 2 more.
Eat 'em up.
Okay.
Place them in my pocket.
As you take them, you see them. Another one just takes its place.
See?
Place them in my
I'm
pocket.
with it.
If
You're
we
welcome.
didn't
I
go
love the
inside,
octopus.
we wouldn't have met the twig person.
They are
Okay.
adorable.
Agreed.
I'm
No other
going to-
saying, but yes.
I'm going to pat him on the head as if I'm trying to like ruffle his hair, which I assume he has none of.
No, he's like imagine a golem. He has no hair. He's just a little wooden, like
Does he have like
type thing.
popping out of his head?
I'm imagining baby Groot.
Yes.
Essentially, like a baby, like a fat baby Groot.
So I rub my hand against his head, bring it back, and notice how much I'm bleeding and how many splinters I have.
Mm.
Jesus.
Welcome everybody.
We will be back. Sam. Thank you.
Come da testo. Goodbye.
The fucking language gets me.
After walking
The
out-
language and the voice combined.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Okay, so Sylvan is Italian. What other language have we ever heard so far?
Can we hear what Infernal sounds
Screech
like?
is just screeching.
Yeah, it's literally just it's caterwauling. Hold on, let's go down the list at this point.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. We'll go down as we've counted them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, that's
Wait,
good.
Can't
we've,
wait to hear what
we've
Celestia
heard,
sounds like.
heard one more. Haven't we heard one of them from you guys?
Oh, wasn't it a bit?
We
Infernal.
haven't. You got. Yeah, I mean,
You
we've.
guys,
heard
you guys
them.
heard
You've
Infernal.
probably
What
heard
does
Infernal.
Infernal sound like, though? So
Uh,
we got Italian, we got what did we say?
Caterwauling.
Caterwauling, and we got that.
I feel like
Infernal
it's...
sounds like Aatrox, a Russian on way too much cocaine.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
With
an
a-
angry
it's a
Russian on
deep,
way too much
raspy,
cocaine.
Angry Russian that's covered in cocaine.
Covered.
Covered.
I just play Aatrox Wastelands whenever I want to.
Oh my god, yes!
You're just like typing this down.
I actually am.
Don't hold me to voices. You know better than that.
Too late.
So Infernal
You know what?
is angry Russian covered in cocaine. Sylvan is Italian.
Covered, yes.
And
Yeah.
deep speeches. Deep speech.
Caterwauling.
I need to take out the trash real quick.
Eh.
Okay.
I've never heard the term caterwauling until this campaign.
Same.
You're welcome. Oh wait, you've never heard cats like fighting?
Oh, that's what. Okay, that's what.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
stands
no,
for.
Cats
it's
fighting.
just cats.
I've
screeching at
never heard
each
that term for it.
It's literally defined because of
I hear-
cats.
I hear that every night.
Yep.
Oh my.
Alright.
Whether they're fighting or doing something else.
Okay, so we
Kinky,
have
yes.
three languages that we
Yes.
get to hold Reese to.
To remember
luck with
all
that
of
one.
this.
Fuck that.
Don't worry, we have a list that we can send your way.
Look, as long as you can remember bippity bopping, we're good.
You don't know what's calling you.
You should put it in group notes.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
I need
Oh.
notes.
Whoa, what is that?
Like,
What was it actually said? I know it said
Ah!
covered in cocaine. I assume that is not the actual term.
No, it was like who took too much cocaine. That's what Blaze said.
I have given you the resources to make notes for your group. I have my own notes.
Group notes.
Root nuts.
You are now in charge of the notes as a group.
There we go.
Cool.
You can look at the notes.
There you go.
Oh my.
I'll show
Tiger
you.
King
Tiger
has a
King has
Russian.
a Russian?
Yes.
Tiger King, but Russian.
By the way, we finished it.
Yeah.
That was a line.
That was
What did you think of the great ending?
My brain's shutting down at any mention of Tiger King.
I'm just happy
I refuse.
that what's his name got his comeuppance some way or form.
Well, they're making another episode next week.
They are?
Spoilers.
Follow up.
Good
We'll keep
lord.
talking about it. They're making like a follow up.
Is it
So,
like
moving on.
So you all are exiting the tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
As we're exiting, I say, I'm not the only one who really wants to protect that little thing, right?
It is adorable.
Is this
We must protect it at all cost.
Not exactly high on my to-do list, but I'll keep it in mind.
All cost.
oh
Look, if it comes down to it, we can just use you to resurrect that thing.
Wait.
What?
what?
I don't know how magic works, so I'm assuming we can like, transfer his life into it if it dies or something. I don't know.
No. That's not how that works.
Totally is.
Don't.
Yeah, out of character, that is Star's understanding of magic so far.
Yep.
You can just do things. Just anything you can imagine, just it happens.
Oz gets even more frustrated.
You step outside and you see a small deck of cards.
Oh, not
Joking.
this
not
again.
this
I'm
again.
joking.
I was about to say, not this
Deck
again.
of
Yeah, his
cards.
small deck of cards. I pick up that shit.
Oh no.
Welcome to Groundhog's Day.
I hate it.
Not only do I pick up that shit, I start passing out cards.
No, not again.
And you pull the cards.
We're playing 5-card rummy, bitches.
The world starts to shift around you.
Go fish.
Deck of many things. Deck of many things.
Go. Did you just say go fish? I
Yeah,
want to
that's
high five
exactly
you.
how Ord would react to this. by the way.
You
He
step
would he
outside.
would see a deck of cards and be like, we're gonna play poker.
Oh.
And
Pass it out the deck of anything.
you step outside,
get
you
a
see
card.
Stella
You
just
get a
kind
card.
of like sitting next to a tree, just kind of like tapping her knuckle against it.
Oh, were we
Quite
keeping
young.
you waiting? Sorry.
A little bit. A
Wait,
little
does time go differently in there? Has it been like years since we last saw you?
Not
You look
just,
great, by the way.
just a few minutes. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Thank you.
He doesn't
Welcome.
understand how magic works.
Yeah, yeah. You can just, if some person dies, then you can take another person's life.
No, no, no,
and
no,
get
no.
them.
I
Right?
like cover your mouth. Welcome back.
Just kind of looks at you. Now, let me show you the village.
Okay. We're out of the tree now, by the way, Blaze.
Oh, we did. We got out of the tree. Talked about the deck of many things.
She guides you down. And you see this small village. I mean, it's relatively like suburb sized, so it's not small. Like there's probably a good 30 to 40 huts. And they're relatively built houses, I should say. But you see she kind of takes you to the back end, and then you pass them, and they're all relatively the same size. Nothing like it everyone seems to be about on the same par level. Other than at the end, you can see on top of this large hill, you see this sprawled out kind of castle-y mansion.
Nice.
And she kind of takes you to the town center where you see small. It's like a small well. She goes, "This is the city. Feel free to look around. I have to keep watch. Make sure no one sneaks out. Make sure nothing sneaks in. Good luck."
Before you go, how common are visitors here?
Not particularly common, though the villagers have been told, as far as they're aware, a message was sent to the capital in search of a small band to help them with their. So they are expecting people, but they're probably more expecting soldiers to pass through.
So we can still keep ourselves on the down. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Your best bet is to act more like concerned adventurers than anything, which essentially you are.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what we are, right? Right?
Yes. Yes.
But
Yeah.
try to keep any information to a minimum about monsters, vampires, stuff like that.
I'll make sure.
Oh, don't worry about it. I do nothing anyways, so.
Seems like I don't have to make sure. Okay.
So, what are we doing?
I guess we take a look around. I guess we take a look around. Let's see.
What is the
you
general
also-
atmosphere of the town?
That's what I was say. Right now, it is fairly late at night, so everyone right now is in their huts. The castle itself is you see some like dim lights coming through. You see because in front of the well, like you'd see in the distance, you'd see like two soldiers kind of standing at a large gate that kind of leads to the path up to this castle mansion. But yeah, like right now it's late at night, so no one's really out.
Now would technically be a good time to kind of go around and have just a scout.
Okay.
With vampires, nighttime, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Perception check.
Investigation?
It's like a fairly large village. There's no real like torn down houses or anything. Like a few houses with some sheds and stuff. It is completely surrounded by
thick forests.
So nothing looks
Oh, so
out of
it's-
place.
I mean, not at a passing glance right now.
Question. Well, when we were in the box, you said they were like giving like salves and stuff. Where are we standing about now?
Like, okay,
I think everyone's at full health now.
Yes.
oh, health wise, yeah, you'd be at full.
Okay.
Yay.
So
Yes,
there,
remember
it was
yourself.
essentially it was if you would have chosen to for some odd reason attack someone while in there, you would not have been at full health. But
Yeah, I was curious where I stand. So like basically, I'm at full health, but my spell touch was still
But
gone.
that wasn't
Yes.
long enough for a short rest, was it?
No.
So everyone still is
it would have
down.
been it would have been long enough for a short rest. There would
Okay.
probably been about between your guys' fight and the final fight. It was probably a good 2-3 hours.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that would be considered a short rest.
Yeah,
that would have
but
been that meant it would have been about midnight to 1 a.m. when we left.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's fairly late here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Makes sense.
that everyone's kind of asleep, but all of you have dark vision.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Our
I
options
only
do.
need.
though, like I said, every house would have like a small torch
Yeah.
type structure.
Our options do appear to be get any information we can now, or wait until the morning.
Grashon only needs about 4 hours of sleep to be fully rested, so he is more than willing to go out and scout as much as he can.
Do we like go for like an inn first? Like,
I was
kinda-
saying, like,
yeah.
what time of day were we talking? I know we said it was like nighttime.
Like late night. Like I
Late
said,
night.
everyone is essentially in their houses asleep.
Okay.
as far as you can
So if it's
Perfect time.
late night, what kind of light source are we talking here? Like, are there
So, like, there's-
lanterns? Is there a full moon?
Yeah, there's
torches.
Is
like
it dark?
there's torches and like throughout the village there are essentially what you'd consider street lights. So it'd be like a long pole with like a lantern attached to it, kind of
Okay.
lighting everything up. It's fairly well lit.
Okay.
Like not enough that it's gonna keep anyone awake, but
Yeah.
if
no,
anyone
I know
had
what
to
you're talking
leave,
about,
well, yeah.
Yo, this place lit.
Literally.
Like I
No.
said, like the
Nice.
village itself is lit up, but like once you get out past the village, it's just pitch black woods that are fairly thick.
So
And
are
like
we-
you hear animals kind of rustling around in there, but
How far is the village from the gate? Like, where
like the gate
guards
is
are?
on the very end of the village, so like you guys would be theoretically you'd be like here, and you'd have like houses here. You'd have houses, and like the gate would just be like here.
Nice.
Okay. Do they have like guards patrolling town, or is this just guards at the gate?
There's just guards at the gate. And it doesn't seem to be anyone really patrolling the town itself, as far as you can see.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what we can find out at this time, and the forest doesn't I don't think most of us are really prepared to go into the forest right now.
Here's your trees.
Can we sneak into people's houses?
No
And
cabbage.
still their panties.
Steal their panties.
I just slow turn the cabbage.
Cabbage, no. Not right now.
Now is the perfect time.
No.
Listen, there's a time and place for everything, but not right now.
Even Star.
Have your
Starless
guard.
Oak.
Yes.
Nice.
That got a chuckle out of several of you.
I love that.
Yes, it did. Good job.
Wait, what was said?
I said Neil said Starless said there's a time and place for everything, and I'm like Starless Oak.
The offer's still there.
He is a professor.
Oh my god. Okay. So I I say we just look around.
Look around there. It's like nighttime right now, so don't really think much is gonna happen
We could split
unless
up.
something crazy happens.
Let's split up, team.
I feel like the
no.
most we can. I feel like the most we can do at this point is just gather our bearings about the town.
Look for like interesting places we can find.
I mean, I guess, but I don't think that really. If anyone spots this, I don't really
You
think
think the
that
bar is
paints
open
us
now?
a good picture.
Star,
You
no.
think is there like a local inn or a tavern or a
There-
bar?
You did pass an inn that was essentially like it would have been like the first building you saw. It would have been on like the left hand side.
Is
It would have
it
been
open?
a good.
Is it open
Um,
slate?
It didn't appear to be open right now. No.
Interesting.
I must agree with the cleric. I
Well,
think
they
it
would-
would
they
be a
would-
good
the-
idea for us to get our bearings.
The bottom light would have been open. Like all the rooms up top would have been out. I should say. There was like a small light coming from the bottom.
I mean, there's usually a lot of people at the bar. I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is. So I don't know.
That's true,
I
Star.
thought that was a good idea. I don't know.
Actually, you know what? That doesn't sound too bad. Star had a good idea.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Yay!
I zoned out for half a second.
Should we? Oh, Star suggested going to the bars.
Yeah, if they're open. That's probably our best bet. As good as it would be to gain our bearings, if someone
Yeah.
if someone sees a bunch of people just snooping around, we're not exactly in a good light there.
Plus,
that is
we're
true.
trying to find places to go, right? So that seems like a pretty good idea to me.
Perhaps it would be best for us to split up into smaller teams so as not to arouse suspicion.
Okay.
That works.
Who's going with who?
Okay, so what is everyone doing?
Seems like we're splitting up,
Who's,
but like,
who's going to the bar / inn? Well, it's the same building.
I suggested it, so that's what I would like to go.
I'll go
What
with
is
Star.
everyone else doing? It isn't
Alright, that's
going
2 for the bar.
to the bar.
So we got 2 for the bar out of what are we got 6 people? Yeah, we got
Mhm.
6.
6
Should
people.
we just split the team in half?
Start.
We have an odd number.
Going to the bar.
No, we don't have an odd number. We have 6 people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
in between
Oh.
3.
I'm bad at math in real life.
Yeah, you are.
It's okay. Yes. Yes.
I've had to count you all many a times.
Oh no. So wait, who's going where?
So far, we know that Star and Oz are going to the bar.
Yes.
There.
Greshon's gonna go scout out like the outskirts of the town.
Okay, so Rashawn is scout team.
I'll go with Garshon.
Okay.
I will too.
Hey, the party king is coming with us. Let's go.
Party King wasn't sure where he was ending up in this.
Orn, okay. So Star, Oz, Orn,
Bar
Bar,
team.
Garshawn, Qualia, Cabbage, Scout.
Yes.
I see makes a decision. Party king.
Ball.
As a bar king.
Start with the bar team. So you walk back to the entrance of the village. You find the inn. You walk in. You're a little like. ding. You walk in and you see this like young girl, probably about like 15,
Oh.
standing back behind the counter. She sits at a yacht. Oh,
What's you doing up so late?
how may I help you?
Hi. Insight check to figure out if this is the actual owner.
Oh my god.
Because I am so confused. Star is very confused.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, hold on. This is gonna be amazing. 7.
7. I mean,
Yes.
You think she's the goddess I am?
you've seen younger on a run a place like this. I guess maybe.
All
you're
right.
you're not very used to like inns.
That's a good point. So yes, this is normal.
Okay, I'm gonna make an insight check.
Everyone else would be like, yeah, you know what? I have a feeling this is probably like one of the innkeeper's children. Starless, I could understand, be like, yeah, no,
It's
this
like,
is
no,
is
this
clearly
kid
correct.
owns this place. They've worked really hard at this most of their young life, and yeah,
Yeah.
this is an accomplishment.
Like everyone
Respect.
else, I wouldn't even made them roll. But I'm like, you know what?
So
No.
I rolled for insight, and I rolled a natural 20.
Ooh,
I mean, either way, you would understand this is probably not the owner of the place. You would you would hazard a guess that this is one of their children, or like a niece or a nephew,
I
like
figured.
some sort of family member.
I feel like now is a good time to mention, hey, you have a passive insight. It's
Yeah.
probably close to like
I do,
14-ish.
but
Star is doing
but-
his thing fine because he's role playing. But in
Mhm.
general, you
Passive
probably
insight
don't need to
is-
roll an insight for something like this.
Yes.
My passive insight is 10, so.
no, because I was torn. I was like, would they know? I'm just gonna roll for it.
I think everyone but Star would probably understand
Yes.
that a child.
Yeah.
So yeah, how does this place
Reflectable.
actually look?
I mean, it's relatively clean. It's like it's not the nicest of places, but like because you can see that like they probably don't get too many people that come through the village, as it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's well kept. The everything seems to be pretty well maintained.
Okay.
It's just like a small little wooden building.
No people inside, aside from the owner.
Yeah, aside from the little girl, you notice though that it's like, so as you walk in, it's this long, it's this relatively short walk to the place where she is standing. She's standing behind a counter. You see behind her just kind of some keys on hooks. They're all hanging there, actually. And then off to the left is a door which leads to this kind of bar area, which is currently empty. And then, like in between this and the bar, is a set of stairs that go up, where you would assume the rooms to be.
I walk up to her, and I walk up to the counter, and I say, dude, can I speak to the owner?
My mom's asleep.
What are you doing up there? Isn't it late?
What are you talking about? This individual clearly owns this place.
She
I mean,
said
look,
her
look at
mother.
it.
Yeah,
So?
she's tired. I'm taking the night shift. Do you not understand how inns?
I.
No, what?
I'm sorry. And she pulls out this like little, like she pulls under and she looks at the book and goes, and on the cover it says how to. It literally says on the cover, it just says, Hermit's 101.
How to talk to idiots.
I go, no, you misunderstand.
She goes, this is called an inn.
I've been
We
to inns
house-
before.
We house people
I
and
understand.
give them a place to stay while they're traveling in exchange for money.
I understand. I'm getting like visibly frustrated.
She in the eyes and goes, then what's up?
I pat I pat on the shoulder. There, it's okay. Just talk to the nice lady about her.
We clearly sent the right people.
She looks at Starless and goes, God, he's got a temper, doesn't he?
I think so. Anyway, so we're obviously new here. First of all, can I have
Obviously.
a drink?
The bar's closed?
What I have available.
Ignore
The
him.
bar is close.
Hey, okay.
I'm gonna come in between these two.
Party king, party king.
She's like she's
Damn it.
slowly pulling the book back out.
He steps up,
I'm-
party king.
I'm kind of pushing my way through. I kind of like grab on their shoulders, kind of pull myself between the jar and I'm sorry about my friends. They're very
You know,
not
I
right.
thought hermits were loners. Are you guys okay? Are you lost?
No, miss.
This is
Lost children.
I'm sorry.
This is a village.
Role reversal.
My
This is where
my
we
compatriots,
live.
my compatriots are very tired from a long journey. We are traveling and I'm kind of fiddling with stuff in my pockets. Merchants, and I pull out a potion of healing.
Oh my god.
We sell things.
Gotcha.
Yes,
and
yes.
You see her reach under the table and pull out a dagger. And go,
Oh, wait.
Oh,
we're not buying.
It-
Please go.
No. Okay,
We're not-
I
we're not
step
even-
in front of
we
Orin.
understand. You're a little too young. You're
I step in front of Orin, and I just go, okay, look. We're not here to sell you anything. We just want to know.
Guys are very confusing. Are you hermits? Are you salesmen?
We're not hermits. We're not
Are you
salesmen.
here to rob me? I'm gonna tell you
we're-
right. You don't really make much.
Even I'm confused on
This
what
is
I am
pyramid
at this
scheme.
point.
I wanna look. And if you're here to rob me, then I gotta wake up my dad.
No, don't.
Oh
Okay.
god. Wait.
It goes
Okay,
south.
what are we? What are we? What? Who? I'm like stars.
What
like, sitting
are
there.
we?
What are we?
Guys are- You know,
I don't understand anymore.
I'm cracking up too much. Or we are merchants. And Oz like we are not merchants. What the fuck's going on?
she's like,
Y'all
she's
fuckers.
she's slowly backing up towards the doorway behind her.
I'm like, no. Wait, you misunderstand.
It's
Let
okay.
me start over.
Okay, and she slams like her hand like back behind the door, and you hear this like bell off in the distance behind her. It's okay. Why don't you stay here and we'll get this all figured out?
Okay.
And
Out
after
of curiosity, I know I'm not there, but I gotta ask, how old does this child look?
like 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reason Orn didn't come on to her. Let's put it that way.
No, it's like I imagine she was young, but your voice implied younger than 15, so I was curious.
No, she's like you guess about 15, but like this is a small village, so you know things kind of age you.
I was imagining like 8, and that made this scene so much funnier.
Home Alone much?
And you guys are kind of just standing in the store. Like, you see this like you see the like a door behind her fly open, and you see this like large like 7-foot man that's like
Hello.
he's like he's
I
fairly
love my
I'm
heavy,
waving.
he's like a slight
I'm
beard
waving.
cut.
I just lower my
Hi.
hands. My expression drops.
We are confused.
Oh no.
So,
Sir,
you're one of her coworkers?
I think this is a misunderstanding.
And he has as he comes out, you see he has this large wooden club, and fuck you guys doing, my daughter.
Fool.
Well, your daughter clearly owns this establishment, so we're trying to
I
figure out
cover
what's going
Star's mouth.
Sir. We will take our leave. We're sorry for scaring the young one and having to bring you into this.
Damn right, I was sleeping.
We just are here to want to ask if
Yeah,
I'm going to just slam my hand over his mouth like, nope.
He's like, you see him like his daughter's like slowly like just moving off to the side and just kind of grinning at you guys.
She's
Yeah,
grinning at us. Like, what kind of grin are we
What?
talking?
Like you know the like smirk of like a child that's like
Daddy's
Yeah,
gonna
you
beat
travel.
you up. Yeah.
God damn it, sir. I think there was just a large misunderstanding.
Yeah, you bet there was. Yeah, you fuckers walked into my place and harassed my daughter.
No, 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 no. You
That-
have this all wrong.
I'm assuming you're still having your hand clamped over my mouth at this point.
Yep.
Yep, it's over both
Okay.
of your mouths.
Yep.
Oh, both of you.
Both of you. You were just nope, no talking.
Why don't you guys get the fuck out of here before I cave your heads in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
I
were
start
glad to-
nodding.
My
Still
apologies.
confused.
I'm slowly
confused.
backing us out with my hands still
Yeah, but
over their mouths.
I'm pulling Star as we're walking out backwards.
This little girl's like just waving at you. Like, bye-bye.
Bye, Hervis.
As we make it out the door, I will take my hand off of Oz's mouth, and I shall wave a very friendly wave at her and in goodbye, and then I'll quickly just scoot my ass around the corner with them.
Yeah. Once we're behind the corner, I'm just like, that was so aggravating.
What? What's wrong?
I hate children.
What?
Just because you hate children doesn't mean
Why are you
should do
breathing
something
so
like
hard?
I wasn't
that.
trying
You almost
to.
got us beaten and thrown out of an inn.
That wasn't my idea. I just wanted to talk with her, but no.
You need
What?
a gentler touch.
I can't.
No. You see, that was the okay. Okay, you
Where
guys
you
don't understand.
standing
That was
right
the
now, by
only.
the way?
We're like,
I have pulled us at least like out of sight of the front door of the inn, so like we're probably like around the corner. of the
So
inn.
you're still like on like
The premises.
yeah, like the small
There we
porch.
go.
Like, 'cause it's like you have the inn and you have like the small little like porch and then you got stairs.
we would be down by the stairs of the porch at this point, I would think.
Okay.
At
Yeah.
least out of earshot, hopefully, of the front door of the
hopefully.
inn. Unless for that.
As- Yeah. So you guys are talking and then you hear this tap on the window and you look up and you see the man just kind of glaring down at you.
I wave back.
I nod and start moving Star away.
I think this
Still
might
waving.
be a good time for us to keep walking.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You just need to talk to her later when
Shut up,
her
Star.
subordinates are not as annoyed.
Star, that's not the owner. Her dad
What?
was.
How do you know that? She seems smart, and she seemed to have everything together.
That
I
was
mean,
a
she
child.
played the older man quite well.
So you guys are leaving the inn, having failed. What is Team Scout doing?
Okay, so
succeeding.
The actual team.
probably Grishon's gonna like
Let's
just
go talk to
basically
the
go around the outskirts,
Talking
kind of like
you were
looking
not the guy with the
around,
natural six fucking
scoping,
persuasion.
essentially scoping out like whatever he can see.
Okay, it's you. Like if you're just straight looking at houses, you see houses and the dark woods behind them. They all seem relatively well kept. Some of them are slightly bigger than others, but like none of them really stand out to you. Some of
So
them have like
he-
little like work areas that have been built in the back.
So he doesn't really see anything out of the ordinary.
Not just looking around and all.
Can we go
'Cause-
towards? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I have a feeling he'd also like kind of go towards the outskirts of the forest.
Okay. Oh, let's just let me.
Yeah, like he wouldn't go in without the team.
No. But like essentially, the way I'm dividing the exits to the forest are you'll have the essentially it's like a so let me just so we have like here would be the front that's to be towards the castle, and then you can exit
kind of in that corner here. Here. So essentially, like, you have 6 points of exits. The road's back here, and then you have like front left, front right, middle left, middle right,
So,
back left.
and where would he be, like in and around here, or
You would essentially like you guys were in the very center of the town when everyone split.
Mm.
So the inn was kind of back here. This would be like kind of like that front part just as you enter town, and then the castle is up this way. Everything else is just kind of small houses that are just kind of next to
Well,
each other.
Mystic, if you beat the game,
I said you would have
and
seen an
you get
inn
it,
as
and
you
you
came in.
capture all the Pokemon,
Behind the inn,
you
would have
actually get a
seen
shiny
like,
charm
a small forge would have
or
been next
something
to
like
it.
that,
You would have
and
seen
then you won't have to
like a
hatch so
small
many
like
eggs.
little shop here.
If you
of
do it
just kind of
Bry's
like a
way, it'll
general
take forever.
goods sort of thing, and then everything else would be houses.
okay? So the castle. When you say castle, is this anything related to the other mission that we had?
This would you would most likely you would assume this is where the vampire are.
Yeah.
These are the people that are kind of watching over the place.
Are
Completely
they
different.
kind of like the royal? Is this like like village like royal? Or not aristocrats kind of?
No. Like they're just like from what you're seeing, like they're simple farmers, blacksmith. It's like the self-sustained little village.
Okay, so they're just
kind
like kind of the luring, like kind of
Yeah.
like the lords.
There's nothing. I mean, you haven't met any of the people, but from the look of the village, it's very. It's just like a simple, self-sustaining village.
Okay. So I'm thinking like somewhere like around here, I guess. Like,
So I say, okay, so you're exiting left of the
Right.
castle. Then it's like you like essentially there's like this circle, like you have the fence to the castle, and then you'd have like forest kind of exiting that way. So you'd kind of walk towards there, and you'd see the forest, then you'd see like a large perimeter fence that kind of just encircles this castle.
yeah. Is there anything that he can kind of see, like
Make an investigation check.
investigation or perception?
Well, are you
That would
are
be
you
investigation.
searching for something, or are you just kind of looking around?
I mean, he wouldn't really know what to look for specifically, but like he's just like looking around to kind of see if he can see like any kind of signs of like anything out of the ordinary when it comes to,
Okay.
a normal
Yeah, then
peaceful
we'll
town.
Make a perception check then.
Okay. That would be 18.
18. Okay. I mean, the forest itself is relatively dark. Occasionally, you'd see some like glowing eyes and such. I mean, even with night vision, because of how thick the trees are, like there isn't enough light to really see too deep in there.
But are
as
they
far as-
dummy thick?
They better
I'm
be.
As
sorry.
far as the castle grounds go, you
you're not.
see guards kind of
Probably.
just
Do people-
patrolling the area,
Do
kind of
people
in
like
the distance.
Hmm.
None of them are actually that close to the fence. They are more just near the castle itself.
do people like leave the village often? Because if the mystic people were like being like carted out of the village, would that be something we'd be looking for? Like
Well,
trails.
like Stella told you, like usually no one really leaves the village. Like the only people that would leave the village would be, people looking to trade, farmers, stuff like that. Anyone that was discovered to have magic, so they're getting sent to a school for something. And then occasionally they're like young children that drift into the woods. But other than that, no.
Okay.
Hmm.
Should we focus more on the castle then? Like, can we look around there, like the gate, since it's like a fence-off area, I assume?
without without looking any like too suspicious or anything like that, just like nonchalantly walking kind of around the outskirts of the castle, looking around.
Well, like I said, like essentially, like there's this large, tall fence, essentially, it's a metal slated fence, and like it's probably between there's a large amount of woods that is still in this. Like the castle's like fairly far back. The only thing you would even see, you'd see like the castle in the distance just because of the lights. Other than that, it's like woods and like a small road that leads up to it. And then occasionally there's some guards that are just kind of patrolling things that are within the fence line. And they seem heavily armored. Most of them you see are work. Occasionally you see some
they-
that are patrolling with like large beasts. But
would these be like villagers, like the soldiers or patrollers? Are they from the village, or would they just be like vampires as
you
well?
don't know. You haven't really like the you guys haven't seen any people from this village. Everyone that the other three saw was human, so
So we haven't seen any vampires yet.
no. Said
Well, we must have
the
looked
only
super
people from
strange
this
to them.
village you as a party have met are two humans. And then everyone else, like these heavily armored people, all seem to be orc. There's two at the fence that are just kind of standing there, and then the ones patrolling.
Hmm.
Okay, I think that's as much as we can like glean from the night. I'm thinking we should probably like how long would that have all taken?
Well, I mean, you guys are kind of all splitting up, right?
Hmm.
So like that's what you're doing. What is everyone else doing?
Uh,
I'm assuming you're not like traveling as like a group because you're trying to probably stay stealthy. As
Yeah.
the other two of you kind of investigate everything else.
okay, so we're like us three are splitting up to do different things, right?
In a sense, yes. Like I mean, like you guys can stay together, but something like that, it's gonna be a rule if you guys are kind of all there. I just assume Darshan kind of essentially ditched you to go look at this gate.
Okay.
I'm just getting my grounds, trying to take in everything, trying to understand where things are comparatively.
I mean, like within reason. Like he's not gonna completely ditch.
No. I'm not
Cabbage.
saying like you like went off where they couldn't see, but like I'm assuming you're trying to stay stealthy about this.
Yeah.
So it's not like all three of you just kind of standing at that fence. They're off probably like because like you're probably like just at the edge of the forest here, kind of looking there, while they're kind of probably near the gate sort of situation.
Yeah. He like as soon as he's done with like kind of scoping out like that area, he kind of goes back to like where the other two are.
Yeah, and I mean, you tell them that there's this
Yeah.
guard and stuff like that.
So
So
it's not, you know.
Can we like check out to see if there's like any other establishment besides the inn, or is it just all houses?
what is it? Like you see, you have your inn. Behind the inn is a blacksmith shop, which looks like it's connected to the inn, which the bar is also in the inn, and then you just have a small general store over on the right side of the road. Everything else is houses. Like from appearances, this place isn't visited very often, so it's not really set up for travelers necessarily. But they're not. People still come through here every once in a while, so
Okay.
they still have these kind of places.
And yes, you're right, Ethan.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
At first, it didn't really make sense because Star's actual fur coloration is, slate gray. But hey, it works.
Clearly, well, I don't know. Clearly, I think those two are flipped. I think Oz is definitely
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
because the black cat looks more like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm here.
There's
And
Orn
Oz
100% would be the mid. Or no.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Orn is
Orn would
definitely
be middle.
Yeah,
the one that
he's
looks
definitely
kind of
middle one.
smooth talk.
yeah,
Tried
face
to
look and
talk, but the
size.
hole was already dug.
Yeah, and Oz is definitely that the one that like walked up and was like, "Yeah, we're here," and then got really upset when they were a snarky child.
Yeah.
I
Star's
just
just
love
like,
that I walk in and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go with this team because they're gonna talk to themselves through stuff, and I'm like, my deception skill of +6 will probably be useful.
The funny thing is, I have persuasion at +7.
Listen,
You needed a
It
digging
helps.
skill to dig them out of that hole.
No, I need a ladder. Ladder
Charisma
skill.
helps,
Like you just like, well, you just
but
like
you have to roleplay it
fuck over
correctly.
each other.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
No problem. None of you
Good
had
old
consistent
insight.
story. Fuck.
No. I didn't hear you guys giving stories before I came in, so I just
The worst part would had to have been it's like we're merchants, we're not merchants.
Yeah.
I tried to explain, but the girl wouldn't let me.
Firstly, you guys are told when being brought to this town, don't be suspicious.
Completely
First
suspicious.
And
Yes.
first thing you do, be as suspicious as possible.
I'm
Anyway,
gonna walk
so-
in. I'm not gonna be suspicious. By the way, we're merchants. No, we're not. This fucker.
Or pinching the bridge of his nose.
Wait, I know what meme I need for this.
Oh, God.
Are we just trading memes now?
We
Anyway, what is everyone else doing?
Well,
So
we
who
got
else
kicked
didn't
out.
go
Who
on
else?
anything?
We still have. What is Cabbage and Volley doing specifically?
I was just
Uh,
observing.
Cabbage probably just kind of like wandering maybe a little bit and seeing if there's anyone still awake during this time, maybe checking out kind of like the landscape.
Yes.
No, you don't. You don't see anyone kind of wandering around. Like I said, like the village itself is dead, other than like a little bit of activity.
Is that orange with the star?
I didn't even hear what it said. What the fuck did I
Oh,
just
oh my
do?
gosh, I had a perfect picture.
Yeah, to have-
Oh, is there like a river in this town, or is it, like water source?
Not as far as you've seen,
Okay.
but like I said, you guys are essentially taken from the woods into the village.
Damn,
Okay,
can't find it.
I'm good on that then. I don't know what else I can investigate.
And as I said, I'm just taking in my bearings, trying to figure out where things are in accordance to.
Fascinating.
Yeah, you
The bridge of my nose hurts.
So yeah, you take it in. Like the city itself, just like came in, they built it, and everything's roughly in a row
this city.
on rocks and stone. But yeah, nothing about the way the city's built seems out of the ordinary.
So far.
It's a ruling monarch, and some working class houses.
After I take it in, I wait for Grayshawn to be done and Grayshawn to be done doing his edgelord thing.
Yes.
So yeah, no, he essentially comes back and describes what he saw to Valia
Hmm.
and to motion, like in kind of motions to go back to the house thing.
And I nod and we go to collect cabbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collect cabbage.
Yeah, and like this honestly probably took as long as them getting kicked out of the inn. So
There's a moment of like when it's just me and Garshana, it's just like, oh dear God, why did we leave Cabbage alone? And like we find her, and she's not gone into a house to steal panties. Like, oh thank Christ.
She thought about it, but she's not gonna do that because it's just important.
Yeah,
like
I would have had Graishon lead you back to the house with like a pair of spare panties or something.
Ooh.
It's like just on a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Here,
much.
Cabbage.
Here,
Come on, Cabbage.
I imagine like that little basket thing where you put something in to catch rabbits
Yeah.
and you like pull the
It's a basket, a stick, and a rope. Under string.
Yep.
Free panties.
yeah,
Works every time.
you guys would be making your way back to your well, hearing like rumbling noise coming up the road.
I turn around. I see them.
Mm.
I meet them halfway, and I go, "Well, Party King, how did the bar go?"
The person that owns it is very interesting. She has many a
Shut
million.
up, Star.
Sounds like it went lovely.
Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go see
It
the cat.
doesn't work how I want it, but that's gonna be my response.
I gotta show chat. Hold on. I gotta show chat. This is the result of our adventure to the bar / innkeep.
There's gonna be rolls.
I'm no merchant.
I'm no merchant.
There's gonna be rolls, and then us just went, no, we're lying clearly.
Well, okay, let me explain my thought process. Okay, she pulled out the dagger. I thought she was gonna kill us, so I was like, okay, no, we're not merchants. We're just here to figure out what's going on. But she wouldn't let me speak.
Look, when someone pulls out a knife, you don't start changing your story then and there.
I'm a mercenary. I've never tried to lie.
Threatens you with the knife.
Panic. As a mercenary, you should be having nerves of steel.
But I never tried to lie. I didn't panic.
Look,
He has nerves of jello.
look, it's like this.
They
If you
jiggle.
were hired by the feds to capture a drug dealer, and you go to meet with the drug dealer, you have a wire on you, and they go up to you and they're like, "So are you buying?" And you're just like, "No."
I have a wire.
No, see, like in that situation, it would be different. But she pulled out a knife, and clearly, in Oz's mind, the plan wasn't working. So he switched to, okay, I'll just tell the truth, and hopefully
What
this
kind of
works out.
mercenary work did you do?
Yeah.
She didn't do anything threatening with the knife. She just pulled out the knife.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened.
He's at dinner. Someone pulls out a butter knife. Kill him.
It's like, oh no, the 15-year-old little girl has a knife.
now.
Well, I don't know if she's skilled or not. I've seen a lot of things, man.
She was the kid.
I'm a mercenary. I've seen a lot of stuff.
I
Or-
want to know
or-
if Oz has any amount of deception skill at this point.
Wait, no. Here's what happens.
Well,
Starless thinks the kid owns the store. Orn thinks she's gonna fucking murder everyone.
yeah. As a mercenary veteran, that's probably my thought process.
And then there's just Orn here, who's just, why did I go with them?
Like literally,
And
my
then he
deception
realizes
is
he went
+5.
with them because of how much worse it would have been otherwise.
I'm kind of curious what would have happened if I would have just not done anything.
Hey man, that was just a really bad insight check. But I have-
If you didn't go, I feel like both of them would have had to roll 4d6 6 times.
Look, one bad insight check does not a TPK make.
And yet,
Yet it
Did
could
you
have
know they
happened.
were actually the vampires the entire time?
Oh my god.
No. Okay, so yeah, you guys are now back at the well together.
it's like, well, we wouldn't go back to the well because like the scouting party went back to the house, the tree fort.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
I guess
so
we're
you guys
making
are
our way
making your
there
way
as well.
Back to the tree fort.
Yeah, we went to the tree fort.
Okay, yeah. So you all kind of stumble your way back through the dark woods.
Oz is
back
just
to the tree
silent,
fort.
frustrated.
We should totally go back to her someday. What?
Yes,
See,
as
manservant
Star-
has calmed down.
As I'm
Probably-
sure Star's explanation shows, we didn't exactly get what we were looking for.
Your owner
No,
was
weren't exactly.
very clever
Somebody
lady.
sounds like he needs another go at the wolf panties.
Isn't Star this time?
He sounds like he already has them.
Getting even more frustrated by the second.
Still got 4 more.
I'm gonna look Oz up and down and say, "You don't talk to many women, do you?"
It's been a long time.
Wait,
And I
wait,
usually
wait.
deal with children.
We actually literally just talked to women yesterday.
Yeah,
I feel
we
like
did.
I feel like I finally understand the type of mercenary Oz is.
That was a
He was the
different
type who just
situation.
didn't speak. He's just like nods. It's like, okay, this is my job.
He's
Now he
just
has to talk to
silent.
people again.
So you know how Cloud is at the start
Yeah.
of Final Fantasy VII?
Actually, no, I
That,
don't.
but
I
less
don't play.
talking.
I never play that.
Wait, who from Final Fantasy VII?
Cloud, like that, but less talking at the beginning.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh no.
he
Oh, honey.
he wasn't.
Oh honey.
He was good at speaking when he had to, but
No, he wasn't.
no, I'm talking about my
So-
character, Oz.
so he has no-
Oz, because
no
of my
people
roles.
skills?
No way good at speaking.
I'm not talking about Cloud. Oz, because of his roles, he was good at speaking when he had to. Because I have a +7, I have a +5 for charisma. So he was good at what he did, but his main thing was fighting.
Look, he was pretty until he opened his mouth.
Oh my god.
I'm a mercenary, a
That
veteran
guy
mercenary.
took
Is he-
roles and
is
you were
he-
like, oh, he's so cute. And then you go up to talk to him because he's like, oh, I'm gonna ask him out. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Like the girls,
I
the
like
girls.
eating bugs.
the girls- no, no. This is how I met him.
How
He's like, you know, everyone's like, ah, he's so cool, mercenary. And then they like one day they walk in and he's like just fighting a coat rack. And they're like,
He knew how to mercenary. He didn't know how to people.
It reminds me of
I only know how to
Smoking
mercenary.
Gun. Or Naked Gun. Naked Gun, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh my god, yes!
I only know how to mercenary goes.
anyway, so you make it back to the tree fort. And walk in, and
Just
Stumpy
mad.
kind of just boop 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 out of the beast.
This is
Quiero
this brings
roboto.
joy.
And one would understand this is, you're back. How did it go?
Let it go,
Not
Orange.
as well as we expected. Oh wait, sorry. A boppity boopy?
Bop, bop.
Boppity boop.
What a shame. What a raboski.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Chidi
What
Alfredo.
the fuck?
Basta.
The pasta.
He looks true.
Pesto.
I only have berries. I am sorry.
As they're talking, I go and have a berry.
I'm gonna shove the berries that were in my pocket into my mouth.
All of them?
All
Both
of
of
them.
them. Both of them. I only took
Okay.
2.
I feel like you overate, but
I go over and sit down in a chair.
I go to have a
Frustrated.
berry myself.
eat it.
So I walk straight over to Oz. I'm like, it's okay.
It's
Look.
not okay.
What? No. What's wrong? What's going on?
Everything.
Everything.
No. We'll talk it out. Come on.
Speaking of talking it out, maybe we should all get a good night's rest and discuss our plans in the morning.
That sounds like
Okay.
a good idea.
I just like you know start like getting in real close. Then I like open my hand and there's like the berry in there. Here, take this.
I take the berry.
It's
I
dangerous
eat
to
it.
go alone.
Yes.
God, I need to rewatch that. It's so good.
So I take the berry and I eat it.
you go. I then go over to the bush and grab one and eat one myself.
I go to one of the rooms that we had explored earlier.
I get up and go to one of the rooms. And close the door behind me.
I go to the couch.
Nice.
How many rooms are in
You
here?
go to the couch. That is multi-floor. Each have your own.
Okay, so we each have a room.
It's
Okay.
got like a wooden bed with like a leaf mattress.
And I sleep.
Oh, you didn't know so much.
It's time for sleep.
Yeah, definitely.
No dreams, only sleep.
What's Gershaw gonna do?
I mean, how long is it until like sun up?
Till the sun comes up. Probably be like 3 hours. You'd guess 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna sleep until around what he assumes roughly around when the sun comes up, and then he's gonna kind of like have a couple of berries and then head back out to look around.
Why?
You're in the Italian treehouse, I guess. This is the music that Stumpy is making as he wanders around.
As he walks.
Makes that as he walks. He's a
love
living
that.
Just
accordion.
kind of playing, like just gently around him.
As he
Okay.
takes steps.
Big
He's like
steppy.
pruning the little trees.
All right. Well, we sleep.
As he takes steps, his accordion sounds.
Yes.
Just imagine him singing this.
It's soothing for all of us except Thorn, who understands it all.
Yes.
He's just
I
thinking
mean,
about
we're probably finding
pruning
fun
trees.
cool.
He's talking about trees the entire time.
Yes.
Nope.
Oh my god.
So, anything interesting happen while we're asleep before
I
Garashan
mean-
wakes up?
It's not the best night's sleep you've had, but I mean, imagine you're sleeping on a bed made out of twigs and leaves. So
I've had
Best
worse.
actually
sleep
pretty normal.
ever.
That's pretty normal, honestly.
I've had worse.
yeah, so you get a decent amount of sleep. Occasionally, you open your eyes and you just kind of you see Stumpy kind of like walking around and like pruning little branches off the walls. He's still singing his little song.
Jesus.
But I mean, other than that, the night goes. Nothing really happens.
Oh wait, no. I got the perfect one.
That last one got me.
Yeah.
This one's Oz.
Yes.
That one is Oz.
Yeah.
Got it.
Definitely.
Just had to look through a few. It's all good. Okay, sorry.
I had lasagna.
I
Oh,
had
that was
white.
an airplane.
I used to be what?
Gorshan is getting up before everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, unless anyone else needs to only sleep like 4 hours.
nope. I
Yeah,
passed
I'm
out,
half
curled
elf,
up on the
so
couch
that's
like
not
a
the
cat
case.
does.
I think only full elves get meditate. But
I think there's like one other race that gets it, but yeah, full half elves don't get it. Sadly.
Yeah.
you,
think
you'd
it's
wake
only
up
elves.
before everyone else. What are you doing?
Morning exercise.
Actually, yeah. Yeah,
The
that's
words wi-
exactly what he would do. So you know, like where the trees are, like is that like an open area, kind of like a courtyard?
What do you mean? I'll be back. You guys are
It-
like somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, but like yeah. Like
Okay, so like, describe the area where the trees are.
where your tree is, or just trees in general.
Like the berry thingies.
Oh, downstairs. So yeah, like it's the berry bush is in the center, and it's kind of around the outside. It's just different berry bushes and trees and whatnot that just have different fruits and stuff.
Okay, so like it's not like a courtyard kind of thing, like inside the house.
No. Like yeah, like imagine it's imagine it's like a living room kitchen, but all the walls had berries on them.
Okay,
Like the walls
So he'll-
themselves are the bushes.
he'll just find like a spot where he will like he has enough room to like train to like push ups, sit ups, planking the lot.
I said, yeah, you definitely find room for that. It's like there's a place to sit, like a couch, and then nothing else.
There is a gray lump on the couch. That is Star.
Nice.
So yeah,
Great
you're
lump.
training, and Star is just curled up on the couch, just like oblivious to the world.
He need no training.
I mean, if it
Naturally
helps, like he
counts.
is actually like shirtless at the moment. It's like the just imagine like a training montage of a dude wearing like nothing but like pants and like the shoes and he's training.
Okay, as you're doing that, somebody waddles up to you and pulls on your pants. Yesarabaskian.
Uh, uh,
Ilarafutin. And he backs up and goes.
What's that?
So it's like and you see him like kind of shadow boxing. I don't know.
okay.
Amazing.
Gresham nods.
You're gonna get annihilated.
What the fuck?
As he
Oh
like grows into the 7-foot tall wooden
my
golem.
God.
He wants to be in the spirit park.
Yep.
Oh
Nope.
my
You're
gosh.
you're gonna
You're
get
welcome, guys.
Yes.
And like as he puts his hands up, you watch as his hands become fully circular. And he
He
goes,
can text.
and he like slams them together and goes. So
That
essentially,
is
like,
buff
fucking
Italian.
hilarious.
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus. I wish Gresham knew exactly what that said, but he does not. So he's just gonna pray that he. Yeah. and just- Uh, uh, uh. Okay, he's gonna kind of like not like full on try and like punch, but like just like as if like just to make sure that this thing knows that he's not
it's one of those like punches.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, you hit him and he goes, "Ororoboski." And he takes the pads and slamming his chest.
This is
I
my
love
heart
this
right
so
now.
much. I love this.
Yeah, he's like kind of like trying to like throw punches, but not like like hard punches, like you said, like the kind of punch, but
Like you do that for a little bit. So like you after you throw a couple, he like "Ororoboski," and like kind of slams you with his hands. Kind of like
Yeah.
slams them together.
it's like you're trying to train with the freaking boxing trainer, essentially,
Mhm.
is what
Yeah.
he's trying to go for.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's trying to train and whatnot.
That is
That's what he
amazing.
does until people wakes up.
Do you eventually start hitting harder, or do you just keep with those weak punches?
Just as long as he not like the
Training
'cause
bot.
he assumes that the bot is sentient enough to know that like he's not actually trying to fight. So like he does try and throw like a little bit harder and like get like a little bit more dodgy.
Yeah, like every time you hit with like less than your full power, he kind of like, come on. Shirabodoski.
He does at one point though try and throw out like a punch at full like at full force
Okay. No.
in before Gresham just lays flat on the floor.
Right.
after he gets hurt.
Full reversal.
Full on counter.
Pretty much.
And as you lay down, stop. He looks over you. Shirabodoski.
Describe the movements that he's doing.
Like just like cause you said you just kind of like fell back exhausted.
Yeah.
Kind of leans over you and kind of goes "Boski," and just like slams his hands together. He's kind of like puffing his chest. Goes,
He comes up.
and like watches it turns around and it goes to one of the walls. And you see it pull out like this small like large pitcher shaped plant. And it comes over to you and goes,
He takes it Like, does it look edible?
It's just like it's a large pitcher plant. From like where you're sitting, you can't really see what's in it. Just like a large pitcher plant.
It's a lily
Okay,
of
yeah,
the Nile.
he takes it. He takes it and
Do
tries
you
to.
reach up for it.
Yeah.
And he takes it and swings it back, and then throws water on you.
Okay.
This is
Does
amazing.
Okay.
that splash on the star at all? Because I'm
Depends on where
assuming
she
they're
was
in the same
sitting.
room. Okay.
I mean, she would like Graishon would
Mm.
like make the attempt to like not, you know,
be near
be
the sleeping
too
cat.
close. Yeah.
I said unless like you're up against the couch. No.
Okay.
No.
Because that would have been a time.
Yeah.
That
So
was funny.
essentially, imagine about a 10-gallon hat's worth of water just got thrown
Oh
on you.
god.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
a
he
lot of
kind of
water.
just like shakes off a little bit of the water and like just continues on with his training, or attempts to anyway.
Yeah. You kind of, as you stand up, you hear this like sound coming from he's still like clapping and going like, "Hit me!" But you also see water boys as this like swift breeze starts blowing on you. He's like, it's like a
He's
warm,
trying to dry him.
like a warm
Oh.
breeze. So yeah, imagine. So now you're fighting while hairdryer
I
essentially.
love him so much.
This thing.
I
Oh
love it.
no. Okay, so
Love it
he
so much.
he like with the best of his abilities, he gets up and tries to continue.
This is great. I love him so much.
And then he dies.
Right?
Life transfer, life transfer.
Oh my god. Come on, Star.
Live.
I can just imagine like Star like opening up like one eye and watching this entire thing.
No. They're dead asleep. Like, you could, like, essentially set up an explosion nearby and then one wake up.
Touch Star's head.
What's your
There you go.
constitution, by the way?
Constitution, I have no modifier.
That's just a straight 10.
I mean it's a 11, so
There. Okay. So yeah, you probably get what? Like, because this
Like,
is
he-
like
his
you're
training's
you're
like-
going about you're going. I would assume probably like 80%, right?
something like that. Yeah, like he's not gonna go like completely all out because he's
No.
trying to, you know.
Sure, yeah, you probably train. I would say like 2-3 hours.
His goal was
And
to try and
then,
train us until like, you know, the first few people kind of wake up.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like you push yourself, but eventually you get tired. Like at that point, something
Training
would like.
montage.
So you'd fight and get exhausted, and then eventually you tuck her out probably 1 hour or two before the next person wakes up, and somebody would return to his tiny form and like bring you some water and some
Star
Yeah,
is
he
still
takes
passed
it.
out.
a small like it would be like a small like fruit salad
Fruit salad. Yummy,
Yummy,
and some
yummy.
like and some water that tastes. It's kind of got like an earthy kind of flavor to it.
Spring water.
Like a natural spring water,
Huh.
Yeah,
elementally.
Cool.
But
he takes it. He kind of like he spots Star over like how long has it been? Has it been like 8 hours? Like, would it be enough for like a long rest?
It would be probably closer to 9, I think.
Yeah, you would have gotten your 4 hours,
Mm.
and from exhausted I'm gonna guess probably about 5 because you probably would have slept a little.
Yeah.
But, I mean that'd go for everyone. So and then you train for let's say 3 hours. So yeah, it'd be about another hour before everyone else would be quote have taken their long rest.
Hmm.
Okay, so like he just like sits in meditation for as long as he can. Like after he finishes the food and water that the little tiny thing gives him.
Are you like are you just kind of sitting there, or are you like humming? What are you doing exactly?
He's not humming. but it's more of like a recitation in his head of like his past like oath in a way.
So you're just kind of sitting on the floor.
Yeah, cross-legged, still shirtless, still kind of wet, I guess. I don't know if that's he was dried off fully.
I mean, the top half of you would be like probably like from like
The
your
pants
upper chest up. Like your hands probably would be just from hitting, but like you also got to think you'd be like you wouldn't be able to tell if it's from the water or the sweat at this point. So you're probably quite sweaty.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, he's just there. Like he doesn't put like his shirt and whatnot back on.
Okay, yeah. So as
And
you're
he's
kind
just
of meditating
meditating.
there, you feel this like tickly sensation on your body.
Excuse me.
Tickly sensation.
Sensation.
He opens one eye.
You see Stumpy. He's kind of got these like little leaves, and he's just kind of patting you with them.
Oh,
Oh
I love
my
you so
God.
much.
What is this?
They
Is he
smell-
trying to dry him off more?
Well, like, and you also like kind of smell this like faint, like almost like it's almost like a lavender scent, but not quite.
Okay, I'll accept this because I am a fan of the lavender scent when I could actually smell properly.
So like,
it's
like
fair,
it's
fair.
essentially he is like patting you off with like perfumed leaves, essentially.
Okay, he closes
Oh,
one eye
nice.
after he notices what's happening, and he goes back into
feel like-
meditation. as
You
best as he can.
you feel like a slight tap on your arm. Anda. You open your eye and he's like raising one of his arms up above his head. Anda.
Can he discern what he's wanting to do?
Like you see him take the leaf and like pat his armpit. Anda.
Oh, yeah. He kind of raises his arm a little bit. Arms.
Pats the leaf to your armpit.
Amazing.
And you kind of watch as he does this, like you kind of watch his leaf wilts and another one like appears in his hand, and he like continues what he's doing.
Okay.
This is
And
amazing.
for the next like 10 minutes or so, he just seems to be like patting you with these leaves.
I love
Meditate.
Jesus fuck.
this. I love him so much.
Yeah. Whoever
Oh.
who wakes up next?
Not me.
I would. I'd wake up next. So I get up, stretch and everything. I do my stretches in the room that I chose, and I get dressed and walk out.
Okay.
And I just see Garshawn getting pampered.
Well, no, at this point, Garshawn would just be there, and Stumpy would just be doing his daily tasks of trimming
Okay,
things
okay.
and
Yeah, so
getting
essentially
berries
you'd
to grow.
see like Gaishon just like completely motionless, like just meditating.
Okay. I see
Of
this.
course.
I nod, and I see Star.
You
I
see
walk
a
over-
star-shaped pillow.
Yeah, I walk
Yeah.
over to Star.
Well, as you're coming down the stairs, you'd see Stumpy kind of waddling over to you
Oh.
with a bowl and a cup. Yadorovsky.
I don't.
Which is like a bowl of like fruits and vegetables and
Oh, okay.
leaves.
I-
Like a
I-
little cup of like you see water with some floating things in it.
Yeah,
And some like, little berries kind of floating.
okay.
What's good on you?
I nod, understanding slightly, like through context, and I crouch down a little and take the things. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to remember.
This is morning voice.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Before he gets his coffee.
Right. After my coffee. All right, guys, let's go.
Wait, except
Hey, guys.
In actuality, his voice is actually the result of him burning his tongue every morning on coffee.
Oh my god, yes.
Now
He's
canon,
one of-
this has
He's
to
one
be
of those
canon.
weird people like wakes up in a good mood, but
Right.
somehow like after eating breakfast, it's like
It's
oh, yes,
it's
I gotta sleep.
The mood just darkens.
like life hits him
Yes.
after he wakes up.
Right.
Like, oh, that was so nice. Oh god, I'm alive.
He starts his
Oh,
mornings with
I
a
get
game
it.
of League of Legends. That's his problem. Fun fact: he never wins the morning game.
Yes. Oz never
Ever.
wins the morning game. He hops on his favorite champion, loses the first match. Alright, I'm over it.
Good now. Okay.
Right. No, but
I feel good about myself. I should try.
I take the bowl of fruits and the drink. I nod. Thank you. And I walk past him and lean against the couch that Star is sleeping on, and I start eating the fruit, and I take a sip of the water.
Okay.
I'm not.
Who's next?
only a sip.
I'm not frustrated anymore. My frustration level is at 0.
You have like a meter going on.
Yes. I have an active meter I'm keeping track of.
Okay. Who's waking up next?
I suppose I shall.
What are you doing?
I wake up, I stretch, I get ready, and I comb my hair.
Where'd you get the comb?
I have a bag.
Okay.
You don't know what's in my bag.
That's a good point.
Then y'all have your bags.
Yeah.
Except for Starless, who has the bag of holding, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
He does, which I hope we can get from him at some point.
We still haven't got it from
He
him.
doesn't know what it is. Star doesn't know what it is.
It's
As far as they're
perfect.
concerned, it's just
I
like
feel like-
a
I feel
bag.
like, though, at this point, Star has probably put things in there and been like, "Why is this bag so deep?"
It can hold everything.
Actually, speaking
Ah.
of, since I do have things in the bag, I would have things in the bag of holding. Once I get dressed and get ready, I go down and look for the bag of holding.
As you
Uh,
did.
You see it poking out from underneath Star.
Because of course.
And then at the same
Now.
time, you see me leaning against the couch eating fruits.
As Stumpy approaches you with a bowl and a cup.
I
don't know
accept-
what's the key.
I accept them with a smile and I nod my head.
No translation needed there.
Waddles
Who's
off
next?
again.
And then he waddled away.
Waddle, waddle.
Welcome back, Ray.
To the
Okay,
very
sleepyheads.
next day.
Who's the next?
Roll for waking up. Roll for
Roll
initiative.
wake-
There you
Roll
go.
for
Roll
initiative.
initiative.
3 of you left.
Mm-hmm.
And
I guess Cabbage wake up next.
You guys
Cabbage
should wake
wakes
up at the same time too. You have
You're
that
like,
up.
Guess.
Are we waking up at the same time?
Who?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and wake up at the same time.
Okay. Those two wake up at the same time.
Wake up every morning, jump out of bed, check out my penny collection, make sure everything's still there.
You look around. you
You're
realize
on the
this-
go panty collection.
Like anybody's gonna take it.
I feel like she should have her own bag of holding just for panties.
Yes.
Well, you
We
see,
didn't I get like a wardrobe, or whatever, for all the clothes?
in your
Is that-
actual room.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're not in the
that-
actual house.
Okay.
You're in a traveling house.
In the traveling house, so I guess I just have all my panties then.
Yeah, whatever panties you'd have on you, I guess.
There you go.
And
She just
then
wears them all.
she wears them all. And, yeah, she wears them all on her head.
They're all labeled.
Perfect.
It's like, ah, yes, yeah, I am. The voice Shirley.
It just creates a
She,
giant turban of
she
panties.
takes she takes out like a notebook and like carefully like goes through her notebook and like details all her panties. Makes a detailed report.
It's a panty
Fascinating.
journal.
I love this.
Like this one was acquired on this date from this individual.
Yes.
And then after that, she like goes lounges, like just I don't know. Is there any like furniture in the rooms or all, or just like
There's a couch which Starless is currently sleeping on. Other than that, no.
no?
Everyone
She
else seems to be sitting on the floor.
Or leaning against the couch.
she goes outside to lay on the grass or something. I don't know. Be one with nature.
You walk in, you
Yes.
walk out the front door and sit
Just
outside the
ignore
magical
everyone
door.
and walk out the door.
As one does as a druid.
That's one does have true, yes.
Okay. Now, what is Owen doing?
What is
Well,
the
you
party
see,
king doing?
I wake up and you start hearing this.
Oh my god, yes!
Oh my god. That's what he does.
I am
Party
singing that
king.
song.
Okay. Are you coming downstairs?
Yes, I'm coming downstairs and I'm
As you come downstairs, you know, Selfie does this thing, approaches you with this bowl of fruits and water, and you hear him say, hallucinatory berries and water?
yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wait, did he say hallucinogenic?
Yeah.
I think you are not understanding what the song is about. And I quote, and so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high. Okay?
Perfect.
Understood.
Yes. As all of you have eaten your fruits, probably about 10 minutes later, you all feel the effects of said fruits and berries.
Oh god.
Oh, all of you are just
I mean,
high off-
Gresham eyes are
Oh,
closed, so
no.
you should.
But so the question is, how long is Star sleeping?
If uninteracted with, forever.
Oh no.
Well,
So wait,
He is a
does
cat.
Gresham notice
It's
that?
a cat. They sleep most of their
well,
lives.
Gershon would be like the first one affected by this, because
Okay.
probably would have ate yours sooner than everyone else. Probably
Oh yeah.
because you. Yeah.
Um.
So like in your meditation, like your meditation, good. Like, good, real happy.
No wonder I'm not
No wonder
frustrated.
Before I start getting high.
Okay, so after all that kind of wears off, I assume it would wear off.
I mean, it lasts
He-
for 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay. So he does the dumb and goes to like after he notices other people are awake, he does a dumb and goes to pet Star on the head.
Oh yes.
That will wake him.
It's like, okay, so. Oh boy.
So, like,
Okay. So.
as Star is waking up, everyone else is now starting to feel the effects. of-
Okay. So how Star wakes up? So you know when you go up to a cat and you're like, you know, it's dead asleep. It's so asleep, and they're like, oh, it's so adorable, and you're like, okay, maybe I can move you over because I need to do this thing, and the cat just like kind of wakes up. Then you just see its pupils just go boom.
Oh.
It just like the pupils just like dilate, like like in mortal dread of what's going on. That is what Star's experiencing right now.
As you
Just
wake
like-
up,
Yes.
approaches you with the bowl of fruit and salad, and
Yes. Just like.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
What
Hello, twig person.
Get
Good.
up,
What?
I've got some curiosity, Fluffy. When Gresham pet, oh, this might be also a question for like Stars. Well, yeah. So what exactly does he feel versus what does his trip make him think he feels when he touches
Oh,
Stars?
Oh yeah.
Well, for one, it is patchwork hair on the very top and back of their head. You definitely feel the heavy scarring that happened there. It okay, unless you make like some like interesting investigation checks, then I can't really tell you too much. But yeah, that it's like there's fur, but it's very interestingly sparse.
Yeah, just imagine all your senses have been like heightened. You just feel really happy, and all your like, especially like your touch is like, so like the surf feels like really soft, and the skin feels like really coarse. And you're like, oh.
Okay, so he's just kind of there petting Star on the head for like a moment before like he just kind of goes back and like just wide-eyed, just trying to meditate, but instead of like his eyes being closed, his eyes are open, yet he thinks his eyes are closed.
And all colors like
Yep.
really bright, and everything's like, whoa.
And surprisingly, Star does not go on the attack. He's just like,
He's the calm.
what?
And as everyone's getting high, you see Stumpy kind of like still by Star, and he looks up at you, and he kind of looked at everyone, goes, "Irobas konya, hirokon." And you see him like produce this like you see him like produce this like fine like green powder. Oh, Iroski.
No, I'm good. Kind of like starts like slowly edging away from the little stump creature.
And he like he put it near your face, and it's this. It's
it's
catnip. It's catnip.
Oh
So
my god.
Oh, it activates immediately. Then it doesn't. There's no save against this.
Oh. Yes.
now you're
Pure
high and on
catnip.
catnip. So like Garshon probably has a good hour. So there's about an hour where everyone is high except for Garshon.
Oh.
So we'll get to that. But what is going on outside? Because you're both high outside.
Oh god.
Cabbage and
okay.
corn.
So remind me, what do I see with the how are these berries affecting me exactly?
They're essentially Molly. So
They're
everything's like
essentially
really.
Molly.
So essentially,
What's that?
everything's like really bright, and you feel really happy.
The Wraith Jar.
Are we just talking about how it affects them, or?
Energy, distorted perception, involuntary teeth clenching, dangerously high body temperature.
But like, it's a very softer version of Molly. It's not. It's
Got it.
not actually Molly. It's essentially all your senses are like heightened, and you feel happy.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you have full control of your movements, it's not like
I
you're
don't
not
have
like
involuntary.
no.
So I basically have the perception, the energy, maybe the body temperature. Got it.
Yeah, so like I said, colors are brighter. Things
Cool.
things taste better. They feel better.
I think where I want to go with this. Let's see. I'm just gonna kind of.
Actually, you two would be outside, so like also yeah.
You
Stella
just
would
are
be-
wandering.
Go ahead.
Stella, so like you guys would be outside, and like Stella would you'd see Stella like asleep against a tree, essentially in front of you.
What was Stella wearing?
Imagine like a sort of spy cloak, so like this dark cloak, and, like dark clothes.
Okay. So she's kind of mostly covered.
Yeah,
Got
she's
it.
just kind of up against the tree.
First, I'm gonna start by kind of touching Cabbage, being like, "Whoa."
Whoa.
Stroking the ears.
Whoa.
Stroke the ears.
You're a bunny.
Cabbage is like. I think Cabbage should be like rolling around in the grass like a dog. He's like grass.
I'm in the grass.
See,
Grass.
I just pictured Caduceus doing that.
Yes.
Luke, I'm in the grass.
Y'all. Y'all see this grass right here?
I think at some point she starts eating the grass.
Oh no. That's pretty on par.
She is bad.
Rabbit, after all.
Andrew.
So
Yeah.
so if since I have to bring up the goat, you have to describe to me what the grass has gone through.
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
I mean, yeah. So you have ate the grass, so it's been happy grass. It's seen a good life. Seen many an animal tread across it, both the soft feet
So,
of wolves and rabbits and bears.
so what I'm understanding
Oh
is that
my.
the grass isn't screaming as it's getting eaten.
Yeah.
No, it's lived a good life.
Trying to get that was ready to
It has
go.
spread, it has spread many a child. It's happy.
Child.
It knows the circle of life. And it accepts it.
This is some wise grass.
This is amazing.
The wisest of grass.
I love this grass right now.
As you're eating and like rolling grass and petting each other, Stella kind of walks over and he goes, "Are you all right?" She kind of looks you over and goes, "Wait a sec. Who's your tree guardian?"
Tree guardian. I mean, I don't think we would respond, do we?
I don't think
It's
you
up
can.
to you.
That
mean-
would be Stumpy.
Cabbage is a no.
Ah, that explains a lot. I am going to come back for you all in about an hour. Have fun. And she just walks off.
Let a bunch of people go wild.
This is a known thing.
She makes a good point. There are things to be done. I am standing
God.
up. I'm walking into town.
Oh,
No one can
no.
No one
Oh,
can stop
yes.
it.
As you try to follow her,
He's
like,
gonna
she
become a
hears
wanted
you
man.
stopping
Oh,
behind
no,
her.
no, no. I am not following her. I am just walking into town.
Party
My goal
king.
is the inn.
Party king.
What is your
As you're
perception of
walking,
town?
she intercepts you.
Damn it.
No.
She's been keeping an eye on the door because she knows what's going on. She's kind of going, "Oh no, no, we'll go into town in a little bit. You need to go have fun. Come on." And she guides you back to the door.
Miss, you need to understand. I do my best work while under the influence.
That's nice. That's nice. And she kisses you on the forehead.
Oh.
And can I have you make a wisdom saving?
Oh, yeah. Wait, is this a charm?
No.
Okay.
Um,
As long as it's not a charm or it's not trying to put me to sleep,
It is trying to put you to sleep.
then I have advantage against that too. So it's either 10 or a 4. So 13.
13. Okay.
I'll laugh if I beat this.
Do it.
Come on.
Uh,
Oh wait, no, magic can't put me to sleep. I don't have
Oh, it
advantage against it. It can't. It literally cannot.
Oh, it straight negates it?
It straight negates it. I have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic cannot put me to sleep.
but you, this probably
This
will
does
put
nothing.
you to sleep, but it can't do anything. You just get kissed on the forehead.
Nice.
I'm wiggling my eyebrow at her.
She looks at you and goes, "Fuck it."
And I thought Brightstone was bad.
Look, Orange is in his element. He's on drugs.
Party king.
He's ready to go.
I guess I
been
have to
activated.
babysit. Okay. So she sits down on the tree, by the tree, and goes, "Okay, play with your little friend." Yeah. So Ord and Cabbage are now in the grass playing outside for the next hour.
You have been babysat.
Do what I wanted to do. I call bullshit.
inside, so Garshan, the magic has faded on you, but everyone else is still high as balls.
Question, DM.
Yes.
What exactly happens in Star's head because of the catnip?
I mean,
So the succubus is now dead.
Right. She's torn to bits. Literally ripped to shreds.
I'm very curious of what
it's
happens
a very
with that.
well. The you don't know.
Okay.
Like as far as you can tell, you just feel happy. I don't know. I honestly like. I've seen cats on catnip. I'm not sure what's going on there. They seem happy too. So I would just assume.
I've seen many a cat go absolutely insane
Yeah,
on
like
catnip.
they're like.
But it takes a little bit. It
Yeah,
first they
no.
go like super lethargic and just go duh, which
Yeah, and then
honestly is kind of what Star was when asleep. So picture is still correct.
So you're just like everyone is high. You're like high.
Like,
And
Hey.
then after a while,
No,
they
everyone's
go
high and he's hey.
Yeah, like your eyes are like anyone that's like everyone else's eyes are like they're slightly dilated, but Star's are like you're not sure where the eye starts and the pupil begins. It's just
it's just
like Star is seeing the world at this point.
I can't turn off your shy.
Garshan, you're now the effects on you have faded, but everyone else is.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I had to step away from a moment because my dad came back from doing shopping. Also, that image.
Yes.
Yeah, essentially, that's what's going on in the story.
You're welcome. Okay, so Gresham notices this and realizes like what had happened. He also like would he kind of assume like be able to kind of assume the time correctly?
I mean, relative. I mean, you know, it's morning. You've
Okay.
woken up.
So
But-
does he like feel full from the berries?
Yeah, I mean,
If
yeah.
you're
There's
stumped.
good berries in that salad. So yeah, everyone.
Okay. So yeah, he like leaves a note to everyone and heads on out. Like basically, the note states that he's just gonna kind of go out and do some scouting.
Okay. So yeah, everyone, you'd see Garshan writing a note for some reason, as you're all just kind of walking around high.
Why is he writing it so slow?
Wow.
Are you just like where were you putting the note?
Is there like a table?
I don't think there is.
It's currently just a couch.
Just the couch?
There's a stumpy.
But
Yeah, I don't think I've managed to get off the couch. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
still
so
there somehow.
he's gonna trust that this thing, like I said, like he's once again trusting.
You're
this
gonna
thing
trust the one that got
sentient
you high.
enough, and he holds out the note to the little stumpy thing and points to everyone.
He looks. Stumpy takes the note, looks in, goes out of the bus, and he throws you the note and goes out of the bus. And he looks at it and he shakes his head no. And shows you the note again. Out of the bus.
Okay, so I assume like Gresham just assumes he's like he didn't get the message and he just puts it on like the arm of the couch sofa
And
thing.
then Star eats it.
Oh my god.
I have a semi-important question. What did you write the note on?
I mean, he has his stuff.
But
Yeah,
what did
I'm
you
assuming
write the
there's, like, a
note
scrap
on?
piece of something.
I mean, some kind of parchment.
You handed this little tree person a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
You handed
no!
him tree skin. You monster! Okay, I'm good. That's all I wanted.
You set it on the couch, and Stumpy walks over and grabs the note, looks at it again, and goes to and goes, Arabastanya motoru kunya. Arabastanya.
Has it been close to an hour after he, like,
I said everyone was high. Everyone was high for 2 hours. You were
Okay.
You got high an hour before everyone else. So at this
Okay.
point, everyone's been high for about an hour, give or take.
Wearing, like,
Okay,
that
so
last hour.
he grabs the note. He heads outside. Does he see the lady that they met up with?
As you walk out, you see Orin and Cabbage is currently eating grass, and Orin is petting Cabbage and trying to get to the village, and Stella is stopping him.
Okay. He kind of like just like hands the note to the lady and just heads on out.
She grabs you by the arm and goes, no, you children are leaving. Please stay with the group.
We're like sheep.
Herd
I-
the
Excuse
sheeple,
me?
herd the
Cool,
sheeple.
bro.
I can't have any of you high in town.
I am not high anymore, thank you very much. I woke up way before anyone else.
That's nice.
That's nice.
That's nice. Come on
Please
back.
He
return
pats
to
her
the-
head and tries to walk past.
Okay.
Ooh.
You are you like ripping like she has you by the hand right now.
Can he slide a hand out?
I mean, you
slide.
can,
Is this sleight of
uh,
hand?
I
Or
mean,
would it be
like,
like a
are you
deck?
just trying to like pull yourself out and like continue?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. I'm gonna assume a 22 hits.
Oh.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. So like you kind of break out of her grasp, and with this slick motion, she kind of comes back, grabs you like under the arm, and you see there's a dagger to your throat. She goes,
Oh.
"We are staying with the group."
God.
How old does this person look?
Because you're just a straight elf, right?
Yeah.
So you'd understand the like elves age weirdly.
Mm.
She would be like in human years she'd be about like 20.
So similar to him then.
Yeah, about your age. if you'd guess.
Okay, so he basically straight up like grins and says,
Takes
"Well, if
off
you
his
wanted to go down that route, you could have always just asked." In that kind of like a tone, you know.
She goes, and if you take it a step further, I'm gonna have to put you down. Return to the group. And she releases you and like turns you and pushes you back towards the door. I've already heard what you guys did over the night. I really don't want you high and in the city.
No fair. You wouldn't get rough with me.
Oh,
Also, I may need help keeping track of that one.
The party king cometh.
he sighs. Fine,
Yes.
but you owe me.
I love
So
it.
yeah,
I believe at this point, I think those of you who aren't completely incapacitated would just hear.
Oh my gosh.
Grass like me.
The real question is this just cat or is this deep speeds?
Nope, this is just pure cat.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity,
Just
how
like
many of you inside
Super
would
chat,
would?
this is Star right
forlorn,
now.
just like low.
This is
It's
okay.
not even a meow. It's a mlow.
It's like a
Yeah.
So,
Oh, hold
so-
on, I got the right video for this.
So, as you're all kind of wandering around, Stumpy approaches each of you and tries to take your hand.
I'm not moving. I'm just like a dead
Well,
cat.
you're
just
still on the
lying
couch, correct?
Yeah, just like.
Okay, so yeah, I know he wouldn't approach you, but everyone else, he's kind of approaching and trying to take your hand.
Oh, he tried to take my hand. I give him that shit.
Not you. You're outside. You and Cabbage have left.
Spat's like, I want to have fun with Stumpy.
The one person that can understand Stumpy has left the building.
Look, I had to go outside. The song required it.
Literally
So-
and figuratively.
Who is taking Stumpy's hand?
Question.
No one. Okay.
I definitely take Stumpy's hand.
in marriage.
What?
You take Stumpy's little stumpy hand, and
Yeah.
he guides you back up to your room
Mhm.
and attempts to tuck you back in.
I lay down and I let him tuck me in.
He tucks you in, but you're too high to go back to sleep, so now you just his
I'm
leaves are now just
there.
slightly tucked around you.
Yeah, I'm just there
At least
with a grin.
Sophie is a good guardian.
Yeah.
You feel like the leaves like tighten. So like for the next hour, you're essentially now attached to this
You are
bed.
you are immobilized.
I
You're
am
better mobilized to the
satisfied.
bed.
Of
You're
course
good.
you are.
I
You're
am
happy
good.
and high in your bed.
I am good.
Question, Fluffy. Does she react to him saying
star
that
chat.
she owes him one for helping, like, for him helping watch over?
No, she's too busy trying to take care of the two idiots.
Whoa.
Hey now.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Noted.
Yeah, well, no, that's how she feels. So yeah, she's too busy trying to take care of the two lost
Okay,
cases.
Lost
One
as
of
long
which
as
is eating
she
grass, and she's very confused.
Okay, hold up. I have thing. Okay, so Grishon grabs one of the panties from like his
What?
not the wolf one, but like one of his own spare ones that he
son of a
Wait,
bitch.
wears.
I thought he didn't have panties.
Doesn't
he doesn't have
it's,
panties.
it's one of
Remember,
those from
he put
time to
panties-
time ones, like time to
When
time
he
things.
needs it.
When he needs
When
it,
he
emergency
When he
babies.
absolutely needs it. So he
Uh-huh.
takes it out and kind of waves it in the air a little bit.
Surrender.
No.
They're gray, not white.
Yeah, he's trying to get Cabbage's attention.
No.
Ooh. I wonder what
Bounce,
Cabbage
bounce,
knows.
bounce. Nibble.
But I'm pretty sure
Like-
Cabbage would have enough like perception to see this.
Cabbage senses tingling.
Panty sense.
Sniff,
There's
sniff.
panties afoot.
He kind of like makes his way towards back towards the house.
Are you luring
kinda
me
like
You
in?
guys are like right outside the door.
Like, oh, if that's the case, then yeah, he
like,
opens the
it was
door
the
and
door
like
they
he.
left. Like Cabbage is eating grass in front of the door. Owen is, I'm assuming, trying to escape, and Stella is just doing her best to keep her there.
Okay, yeah,
Keep it
he
there.
he basically tries to like use the freaking like underwear on a stick kind of thing and like lead
Yes.
Cabbage back inside the house.
Cabbage is intrigued.
This 7-foot
To
bunny.
the bait.
Hey.
You book
Okay,
and
so that happened. So technically, the lady outside only has one person to deal with now.
Cool.
This changes nothing.
As she sees this happening, she kind of nods and whispers, "Thank you."
But now she has the most difficult one.
Yup.
I will not be coerced.
You will not be
Oz is
contained.
attached to a bed. Starless is
Caterwauling.
caterwauling on a couch.
Again.
Did you check the video?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is Valia doing while high?
She's just chilling.
She chill.
She feels closer to her god than she's ever felt. I'm joking.
Yes.
God damn it.
Oh my god. Yes. Fuck
Yes.
my panties.
So, like, are you just like kind of sitting down, spacing out? Are you kind of roaming?
Who, me?
No, Valia.
Okay.
No, I'm just chilling in a spot.
Okay. So Stumpy would attempt to take you upstairs.
I'm chill. I'm good.
Having failed that, he'd look at you and go, "Arabosque? Arorotsko." He puts his fingers to his mouth and makes like a puffing motion.
Yes.
I shake my
Took
head.
such a turn. What happened?
Just so, like, I'm gonna try and get you to bed. That doesn't work. How about more?
Got a little bit something to help you go to sleep.
You need some assistance.
What happened?
This is so good. I love this.
He continues.
Get the noise.
Yes.
And you see him produce some strange leaves.
I shake my head.
And he eats the leaves.
He's disappointed.
So he's technically eating a part of himself. Okay.
Yes.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Produces
Oh, God.
kind of chews on them and like spits them into his hand and then holds them out to you.
He hoped to kill it.
I point toward
We
the
have
cat.
a drug dealing plant here.
I point towards the cat.
And, like you see him nibble a little bit of like the chewed leaves and go.
I love
I-
it so much.
I did this.
As he like just kind of walks away frustrated from you.
Man didn't want his drugs.
At what point did the rest of us have the effects wear off?
Oh, you're last.
It's about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Your catnip wears off a little bit sooner than that, but
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So they're tied down to their beds via.
only
what?
Oz currently.
Only me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Good.
As the effects wear off, like the straps that are holding him to his bed kind of wear off too.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
you
like,
kind of all like that happy sense kind of fades from you all, and you're kind of just like, oh,
I sit up, confused. Didn't I already wake up?
remember it at this point.
It's all a dream.
I look around. I go, I could have sworn I was already up. Well, what happened?
So, when you guys eventually go back to the living room, the couch is shredded. It's
Oh,
just
God.
gone.
When did
I-
that happen?
Here's the weird thing: as you're shredding the couch, it just keeps regrowing.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
there's just like it's continuous like destruction just happening. Star's
I
not conscious of what they're doing right now. It's just like
I'm gonna take an opportunity. I'm gonna take an opportunity at this point to try and take the bag of holding.
There you go.
Okay.
yeah, that I believe is still like on the couch as the couch is being shredded.
Oh, well, Star is doing.
If it's
his
not
thing.
on Star, then yeah, I'd say it's like it's
Yep.
a take it.
I take the bag of holding.
I'm gonna assume Star's too out of it to notice.
Yep.
So
It's just like the therapy shredding.
And I put the bag of holding in my bag.
yes.
Interesting.
Put the bag in your bag.
With
Nah,
infinite
I got
infinite.
So yeah,
So many gifts, so
After-
little time.
after about like after a little bit, oh yeah, Star's drugs wear off, but he's probably still tearing at the couch. But
Yep.
Yes.
your highs have faded.
I walk out of my room
Everyone
again.
would-
It's like
Everyone but one is inside.
Oh my god.
like the drugs have worn off at this point, but it's still like.
Star, stop that, please.
What's going on?
Stop that.
Oh,
please.
when did I do this?
+1 to frustration.
Casually add the bag of
Raises a
holding to
finger.
my inventory.
Lowers a finger.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the last gif you put there. That was so great.
Yeah.
We have successfully achieved the bag of holding from Star.
Okay, what are you
Um,
all doing?
This is it, chat.
So where does Krishan take cabbage?
he just takes cabbage inside, like kind of like where the couch, like, not obviously to the couch, but like in that room.
Okay, so
And
this
he just like just kind of keeps the tries as best as he can to keep the keep Cabbage's attention on the underwear, but like out of her reach. Her reach? Yeah,
stealth,
something like that.
Stealth.
stealth.
Oh my god.
Stealth, the high stealth.
Yes.
Also, question: are we gonna be wrapping up soon? Because I need to get my
It
lunch.
is almost midnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
This would be
That's
a good
actually-
point.
Yeah,
What-
actually,
what is-
yeah.
What is everyone doing? I mean, is there anything else? Like, essentially, you guys would walk outside, see Oz.
Oh,
I mean, not Oz.
doing my morning ritual.
Yep.
Which is cleaning myself with my tongue.
Oh.
I walk out
So
and
yeah, so Star
Stand
just
at the
gets naked
couch.
and just starts like licking everywhere.
I walk out.
You'd walk out to Orin having been tied down. Gagged on the ground.
That is tied to the tree.
Not much.
No, he's just
Not much
he's
of an
next to
escape.
the door, tied like on his side and gagged.
Amazing. I also walk out outside. So, what happened?
I thought they were sending me a useful team.
Listen, I don't know what happened, but
In our defense, we don't speak tree.
we don't
We don't
speak
speak
tree.
Well, of course you don't speak tree. How does speaking tree have anything to do with this?
We don't know. We didn't understand what the little tree thing was giving us.
I'm assuming you will speak common.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct? Then why the fuck are the innkeepers angry?
What the?
That one I don't
Right.
know.
About
Orange
that.
side eyes Oz.
Right about that.
That one That
I
one
went to
don't know
visit
about.
them this morning, and they said that they may have found the culprits. They were visited by 3 men in the night.
Okay, so it was a good idea in the beginning, and then I explain what happens.
Your daughter seemed very scared. What did you do?
She is not an angel. That is for sure.
Yes, I've seen her sneak out many a night, but that's besides the
Oh.
point.
Wait, what? Anyway, no. That's beside the point. I tried to explain to her that we just wanted information. We wanted to talk to the owner, but she kept interrupting me, and I was getting even more frustrated. And
As far as I was able to find out, you're merchants, but not merchants. Do you see the problem here? I told you to keep a low profile, to not
I
do anything
tried.
sketchy. That's how you. Okay. I think we're going to need a crash course on how to not fuck things up.
frustration level 5.
Please, let me put this in simpleton terms. This is your story. Stick to it, please.
We're gonna just find wanted posters the next morning.
Adventurers, you have heard that there are problems going on in the village. You have come to help. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all they give a shit about.
I tried
I
to
don't know
explain
where you.
that.
No, shush.
She-
It's okay. I get that you may be new to this. Adventurers. That's it. Not
They
merchants.
would be.
Not
I,
merchants.
however, am not.
Not some
What?
story about long lost relatives. Don't try to overdo this.
Oz is steaming.
Adventuring party. Got it?
No response. Steaming.
Good.
He's getting frustrated and
The
frustrated by
problem
the
may have
second.
lied in the fact that we let the cat go.
Ah,
Yes, the cat. I assumed that was a pet.
I turn and walk away from her
No.
and start heading back inside.
The cat kind of does his own thing.
And that's fine. I've had many of a traveling companion that does. But you have to keep a check on them. And she kind of looks. She looks to the tied up bundle on the ground. That is
I
Orn.
look at Orn also.
Please keep track of your less. Please, I would like this group to be led by the thinkers, not the doers. No. She goes, yes, fine. And she snaps her fingers, and the medical rope that has tied you releases.
Yeah.
Now,
I know I asked for fun, but this was not what I expected.
you
my God.
did beg me to tie you up, so I did. Anyway,
Oh, yes.
now, let me take you to the city once your hot-headed friend comes down. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Literally steaming as I'm inside.
Are the villagers out to get them already?
Whenever you are ready,
torches,
Right.
whenever you are ready, I will try and fix this mess.
Probably good to keep the mad one away from the girl.
Well, good thing she's not in town right now. Yes.
At this point with Oz, like not only is he like visibly angry, but like his sword is like glowing without it being drawn.
So
Gonna keep adjusting this.
So he's visibly angry.
I'm 100% visibly angry. You can see it. You can feel it.
She sits down and starts going over her notes on the goings and outs. The city. She goes,
as soon as you're ready, we will leave.
and that's what we will call it.
Sounds good.
Goodness.
And
Okay.
we will officially get into this next session.
Yes.
That was really fun to do. I got to actually use Oz's like actual personality I built for him. It was great.
What pissed off?
Frustrated.
Yeah, he hit literally in my notes, actually in my description, respectful and frustrated.
Sexually frustrated.
Yep.
Sexually
Yep.
frustrated.
Literally respectful and frustrated. That's what I put for personality traits.
By the way,
I was
Alright.
frustrated at personality.
Yes.
He's naturally frustrated.
bad.
Huh?
Nope. Fuck you. I'm out.
Wait, what happened?
What happened?
What I missed? I missed something.
Oh, yes!
What did you do to her?
Oh, it's what Boxy did to her.
The frustrated
Fuck
meter.
you to her.
Yes.
Are you guys still streaming?
Yeah.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
let
yeah.
you guys do your
we'll do
outros.
outro.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll tell
Well,
Basil
we're
to
gonna
do your
we're gonna
outros.
we're gonna mute ourselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna deafen. Right now.
Yeah.
Alright, chat. That is gonna be it. But first, I'm gonna show the drawn frustration meter. This is how angry Oz was when he stepped inside. If he wouldn't have stepped inside, I'll tell them this like if they come off of deafen. But if he would have stayed outside, he probably would have tried to kill that girl. It would have been really bad. So he went inside and started like steaming. He was ready to go. Anyway, that is it for now. Thank you all so very much for being here and watching. Tomorrow is about to be extremely exciting. Like, if you thought tonight was exciting and hilarious, tomorrow is going to be incredible because I finally get to play the great game that I've been waiting for so long. Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4. It's going to be at 9 p.m. on Thursday, and we're going to go until 12. I will be starting my stream a little bit early, before 9, so we can get the countdown timer being shown, and it's going to be a great time. Friday, it's going to be more Final Fantasy VII, starting at, what did I say for the time? Let me check. Starting at starting at 10 a.m. and ending at 2. And that'll be Friday. And then after that, it'll be Halo multiplayer, the Niggle 9, starting at 6 and ending at 8. Saturday is our last Trials of Osiris, and we're going to be ranting about it basically. Sunday I'm off, and then Monday more Halo Combat Evolved, and that is the rest of the week. That's my official week starts on Tuesday. YouTube channel is Soto Entertainment. That way you can see this stream and many others like this, and all the fun and hilarity that ensues on my channel as well. I also have a Twitter. Follow me there at Soto Entertain M1, so you can see when I'm going live and any schedule changes, just like the one for Final Fantasy VII. That being said, of course, if you haven't already, feel free to follow me here at twitch.tv/Oteno to show me your support. And if you really want to support me in more ways than one, you're to sub. If you do, not only do you support me with your dedication, but you also support me financially, which is always a huge help. And I'm very grateful and thankful for all of you that donate bits and sub and all that. You guys keep me going and keep the channel going, essentially. So yeah, that is it for now. Thank you all so much. I love you all deeply. And I will see you wonderful people tomorrow at 9 p.m. Hope you guys are as hype as I am. Because I know we're about to have some fun. See you, chat. Bye.